Chapter 526. Right now, Xiao Han was completely going on a killing spree, sweeping everything in his path. The terrifying lethality of solidified mental power was displayed without restraint. Everyone was stunned in an instant. Especially after he killed a few powerful tower masters, the uproar on that continent suddenly quieted down. Countless pairs of horrified eyes were now staring at Xiao Han in unison. Right now, Xiao Han was floating in the air. Under the starlight, there was a proud smile at the corner of his mouth. His eyes were cold and lonely. His skin was flickering with a flawless fluorescence, and his brain was emitting a halo of mental power that could deliver all living things from suffering. His entire being was like a god descending to the mortal world, overlooking the world. This peerless elegance was indeed admirable. Of course, the most important thing was that his combat strength was tyrannical, causing nearly all the tower masters to feel fear. Right now, most of the tower masters and elders present were asking themselves if they could kill Xiao Han in a one-on-one fight. If they were unlucky, they might even be killed by Xiao Han. Even some of the old antiques who thought they had the ability to compete with Xiao Han now weighed the pros and cons and rationally chose to stay dormant. Yes, there were so many supreme experts of the human race. Although Xiao Han was heaven-defying, there were definitely some tower masters who could fight with him. However, this kind of battle would definitely be extremely bitter, and if things went wrong, both sides would be injured. As a supreme tower master, he must have a sufficient view of the overall situation. If he was blindly reckless and wanted to suppress Xiao Han, both sides would be injured, and others would definitely reap the benefits. Rather than that, it was better to maintain the current situation. At the very least, they could watch the fire from the other side and wait for the best opportunity. Oh, no one wants to fight? Xiao Han smiled faintly. No one responded for a full 10 breaths. Xiao Han shrugged. He looked at the distant starry sky. It's time to go home, and at this time, on that continent. After a short period of silence, whispers rose and fell, and once again resounded in the hall. He's too strong. He's definitely a monster. If I'm not wrong, it was mental power that killed those super big shots in a second. After mental power reaches solidification, each strand of mental power is as tyrannical as an immortal artifact. Moreover, the attack speed is too fast. With just a thought, the attack arrives. Although it's launched later, it arrives first. It's like slaughtering dogs. Psychic attacks are indeed terrifying. Think about it, no matter how fast an attack from a Jinshi divine art is, it can still be faster than a thought. An idea? In fact, the cultivation of mental power. In the entire universe, it was considered to be unpopular. The reason why it was considered unpopular was because firstly, cultivation techniques that specialized in psychic power were extremely rare in the world. Secondly, psychic power was extremely difficult to cultivate. It was many times more difficult than body tempering and Jinshi cultivation. The brain and sea of consciousness were extremely fragile. If one wanted to temper the brain and sea of consciousness and strengthen one's mind and soul, the slightest mistake could lead to cultivation deviation. The young man was able to cultivate his psyche into a solid state, making it as tough as an immortal weapon. The word monstrous was no longer enough to describe him. Among the countless old-timers present, there's definitely no one who can match him in psychic power. It's very disadvantageous to fight against a psychic power master, because psychic wave attacks come without any warning. It's impossible to guard against them in advance. In other words, that young man is invincible? It can't be, right? We have over 100 million elite human warriors here, but none of them can defeat him? There are people who can beat him one-on-one, but they will have to pay a terrifying price. In the worst-case scenario, they will all perish together. There's another way, which is to swarm him fearlessly and exhaust his psychic power. Once he's completely exhausted, we can surround him and kill him. It's absolutely foolproof. However, to do that, we might have to pay the price of over 10,000 lives. Besides, if he tries to escape, there's nothing we can do about it. Forget it. Let's give up. Such a powerful young man will definitely become an immortal in the future, and his luck will be unparalleled. Fighting him is no different from fighting the heavens. Forget it, let's not make things difficult for ourselves. He deserves the immortal treasure. We might be jealous, but there's no need to play with our lives. That's right. The children of our plane also brought back some immortal weapons and immortal pills. We won't return empty-handed this time, and we won't suffer any losses. There's no need to covet other people's treasures. Amidst the discussions, many of the old-timers' opinions had already changed. They were no longer obsessed with robbing Xiao Han of his treasures. It was as if they knew when to back off. Meanwhile, on Xiao Han's side, The pagoda master, the elders, and Yen Qi were all uneasy. Xiao Han's strength made them panic. After all, before Xiao Han grew up, they had never been on good terms with him. They even quarreled with him. Now that Xiao Han was so powerful that he could kill them with a single thought, they were all extremely worried that Xiao Han would find an excuse to deal with them. When we return to the plain, I'll give my position as the pagoda master to Xiao Han. The pagoda master growled through gritted teeth. His voice was filled with extreme unease and hatred. What a joke. I've been an invincible genius since I was young. I inherited the heavenly mandate and became the ruler of a plane. I fought against the demon race and ruled over millions of lives. I'm a well-deserved leader, worshipped like a god. But now, the situation has forced me to give up my position. From now on, I'll have to be careful and respectful when facing Xiao Han, as if I'm walking on thin ice. Back then, that kid was like an ant, a pig, or a dog in front of me. But now he's grown to such a level. Life is unpredictable. It's like a dream, pagoda master. There's no need to give up your position. It's a good thing for you to rule the world with Xiao Han. One of the elders said bitterly. Bullshit. Compared to Xiao Han, I'm worlds apart. Forget it. Say no more. The pagoda master flew into a rage out of humiliation. An inaudible heart-wrenching scream came from his throat. Xiao Han. Sect. You've destroyed my foundation. Seize my country. Damn it. Damn it. After yelling for a short while, the pagoda master's mood and expression gradually calmed down. A trace of malice was hidden deep in his eye sockets. It wasn't easy to be discovered. At this moment, the pagoda master walked toward Xiao Mingqiu with a radiant smile on his face. Yes, Xiao Mingqiu, my friend, congratulations. This is a cause for celebration. Your cloud sect has produced a peerless immortal genius. A god that only appears once in a billion years was actually born in our tiny ordinary plane. This is truly a cause for celebration. Yes, after we return, I'll abdicate my position and give it to a better man. I'll hand over the position of the master of the plane to Xiao Han. Let Xiao Han become the leader of the human race in our plane. I believe that under Xiao Han's leadership, the demon race in our plane will soon be completely annihilated, and our plane will realize the perfect unification of the human race. Ah! Hearing the pagoda master's words, Xiao Mingqiu felt dizzy. The boundless ecstasy had already invaded every pore and cell in Xiao Mingqiu's body. He kept roaring in his heart. Sect master. You'd never imagined that junior brother Xiao Han, whom you'd placed such high hopes on, would now fight against countless pagoda masters head-on. He's talking cheerfully and merrily, and he's swift and decisive as he kills, controlling the situation with his own strength. Xiao Mingqiu was so excited that he couldn't speak, so he didn't communicate with the pagoda master immediately. The pagoda master smiled amiably and walked away, but his eyes were bursting with murderous intent. Xiao Mingqiu. Now that Xiao Han has risen, your cloud sect's people are also acting recklessly. Although I can't deal with Xiao Han, I'm afraid I still have a chance to deal with the others in your cloud sect. The pagoda master understood that no matter what fortuitous encounter he had, he would never be able to stand on the same level as Xiao Han again. His heart was filled with jealousy and hatred, but he did not dare to voice it out. He could only vent his anger on those who were related to Xiao Han. However, at this moment, boom, 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 boom. All of a sudden, a violent pressure pressed down on Xiao Han's camp from all directions. All of a sudden, hundreds of figures charged towards Xiao Han's camp from all directions. The leader was a pagoda master. He was a black man with an unparalleled aura. His eyes were bloodshot like a gambler who had lost all his money. The elites of my plane have all died after entering the genius zone. They didn't even bring back a single celestial artifact. Our plane has been oppressed by the demon race for years and was almost destroyed. This time we must obtain the celestial artifact and celestial artifact. Young man, I can't defeat you, but these ants around you are too weak. I'll capture them and force you to abdicate. It turned out that the strongest human experts of a plane had done something crazy under the leadership of their pagoda master. He wanted to directly control the other people in Xiao Han's realm and use them as a threat to force Xiao Han to give in to them. The auras of these people were so powerful that the pagoda master and the others from Xiao Han's plane were completely immobilized. In less than a breath's time, they would definitely be controlled as hostages. However, Xiao Han, who was floating in the air, did not move at all. A helpless expression appeared on his face. In the next moment, puff, 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 puff. As the golden light flickered, the bodies of the hundreds of ferocious men who had pounced towards Xiao Han's camp exploded in midair one by one. They were as resplendent as fireworks, burning away the most exciting moments of their lives. Then they turned into dust and disappeared without a trace. It was as if nothing had happened at all. Killing with mere thought. The countless top human experts on the continent once again witnessed how powerful Xiao Han's psychic force was. With this move, the old fogies who had been planning to wait and see and covet Xiao Han's celestial artifact completely gave up on the idea. Let's go, we can't afford to offend this kid, let's return to our respective planes. In the blink of an eye, a large group of people appeared on the continent, all of whom were using their true energy to fly up into the sky. They had finally decided to leave. Eldest senior brother, big brother Luo, let's go too. At this moment, Xiao Han also let out a long sigh of relief and hurriedly transmitted his voice to Xiao Mingqiu and Luo Tianyu. Let's go home. Xiao Mingqiu and Luo Tianyu looked at each other and smiled. However, at this moment, a strange change occurred. A brilliant light suddenly appeared in the sky above this part of the universe. This kind of brilliance was so stunning that it did not seem to belong to the mortal world. Instead, it was the splendor of a higher-level world. Under such brilliance, everything in the mortal world seemed to dim and lose its splendor. Then, within this brilliant light, a huge vortex appeared. Endless immortal chi was surging in the vortex, and the profound divine law of space was being deduced and narrated. The whirlpool shone brightly, and gradually, a huge palace appeared, suppressing the surroundings. It was made of jade and was extremely beautiful. The boundless secular world was overturned and gorgeous. 5 colors filled the air. Around the palace, there were images of white apes presenting immortal fruits and colorful deer holding Ganoderma. An unparalleled aura radiated outwards, causing many humans who had already flown up into the sky to be forcefully suppressed and fall back to the continent. Even Xiao Han was shaken by an invisible force and fell back to the side of Xiao Mingqiu and the others. At this moment, an empty, dignified, heavy and supreme voice resounded in the world. It was the voice of a monarch looking down on ants. Mortals, please wait. This emperor has a few words that I need to tell all of you. All of you better listen to me obediently. Also be quiet. Don't be arrogant, don't talk, and don't be noisy. Listen carefully. To be continued. Chapter 527. Just as the commotion outside the genius zone was quelled and countless old-timers were about to pack their bags and return to their hometowns, something else happened. Heavenly phenomenon. A turbulent vortex appeared above the starry sky. At this moment, rays of light shot down from the turbulent vortex. In an instant, countless beautiful heavenly flowers appeared in the void, falling down in a chaotic manner. It was incomparably divine. An imposing figure appeared in the palace in the middle of the vortex. It was a blurry, illusory image that no one could see clearly. However, the aura of the great Tao and the nomological laws of the immortal Tao flowed through its body. Even the slightest bit of that aura was enough to make heaven and earth flourish with life. Furthermore, it was an extremely noble aura that reigned above the common people. As a result, the countless old-timers standing on the continent felt very humble, and were more than willing to submit, worship, and serve him. Shockingly, all of the old-timers prostrated themselves in front of the vortex in the sky, in front of the vague, imposing figure. Some tower master ranks even began to kowtow. It was as if the world's most devout believer had suddenly seen their god. The atmosphere was very strange. It's the aura of an immortal. It's clearly the aura of an immortal. Xiao Han had a different kind of realization. There's no mistaking it. It's definitely the aura of an immortal. Furthermore, it's still very far away from us. That vortex in the sky is just a spatial passageway that connects to a distant world. It seems to be a corner of the immortal world. This situation is a bit similar to Naga's connection to the immortal world. However, the immortal realm revealed by the vortex in the sky was thousands of times more real than the one Naga had communicated with. It's also thousands of times more powerful. Then, in the middle of the whirlpool inside the heavenly palace, the figure that appeared, could it be an immortal? Xiao Han was also very surprised. However, in the face of that inviolable and superior aura, Xiao Han's mind power was greatly affected, but he was still able to control his emotions and prevent himself from blindly worshipping it or kneeling down. Xiao Han lowered his head and muttered to himself, "Things are getting more and more interesting." Just as we mortals finished exploring the genius zone, an immortal from the immortal world appeared. Could it be that the immortals want a piece of the pie? Immortals can't enter the first floor of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure, so they can't obtain it even if they want to. Now that we mortals have it, they can't be thinking that immortals can't be so narrow-minded, right? Many thoughts churned in Xiao Han's mind. At this time, Xiao Han's gaze swept left and right, and he discovered that the expressions of countless tower masters and elders had changed dramatically. Their eyes were filled with panic and helplessness. Yes, under the influence of this enormous immortal intent, their mind, chi, and spirit were completely suppressed. Even the top powerhouses of the human race were trembling in fear. They felt like ants facing a giant. If they were the slightest bit careless, they would be trampled to death. Therefore, even if the immortals wanted to rob them, they could only let them. No one dared to disobey. Don't be impatient, listen to this, Emperor. The imposing figure in the vortex seemed to be quite satisfied with the lowly behavior of these mortals. He continued speaking. His voice contained the majesty of an emperor, the majesty of a king, and the majesty of the heavens. As he spoke, some of the sound waves that leaked out formed a majestic halo. These sound waves layered over each other, making it seem as if a god had descended. Ghosts and gods were hard to fathom, and it was a marvelous sight. You've probably guessed. This emperor is an immortal. After hearing the figure admit that he was an immortal, many of the elites of the human race on the continent, including many old antiques, kowtowed as if they were pounding garlic with their heads. Tears streamed down their faces like rain. Mortals. To be able to listen to the teachings of an immortal in your lifetime, your life has not been in vain. To you this is a great favor. The imposing phantom also let out a faint smile that was filled with a natural sense of superiority. Xiao Han didn't think much of it. However, what he needed to do now was to protect the aura of the demon egg in his heart. He couldn't allow the immortal's intent to find out anything. Fortunately, Xiao Han's heart was surrounded by the 10,000 immortal formation that kept all auras from being detected. Moreover, the demon egg was extremely intelligent at this time. It curled up into a ball and hid itself. Therefore, Xiao Han also knew that if he didn't face an extremely powerful immortal face-to-face, if it was just the will of an immortal, it would be very difficult for his secret to be exposed and discovered. Immortals are not allowed to enter the genius zone of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao. Therefore, the immortal world sent a message to you mortals and made an exception to let you explore the lair of an immortal emperor. This is a miracle that rarely happens in hundreds of millions of years. I'm sure you insignificant mortals must have obtained a lot of immortal opportunities in the treasure vault of Zhu Dao. Don't worry, I won't forcibly take away the treasures you've obtained, the immortal said with a smile. Hearing that, many old antiques who were kneeling or standing on the continent heaved a long sigh of relief. At this moment, now, I'd like to see what happened to you mortals after you entered the genius zone. The immortal's voice became extremely dignified and cold. Suddenly, an enormous divine glow shrouded the land from the vortex. In an instant, the land where Xiao Han and the mortals were located was shrouded in it. Everyone was bathed in a golden light. At the same time, whoosh whoosh whoosh, dense rays of light were drawn out from every mortal's head and swarmed into the whirlpool in the void. This is... Xiao Han was puzzled. Suddenly, he felt that rays of golden light rushed into his sea of consciousness, trying to forcefully pull out his memories. So it's forcefully reading my memories? Xiao Han understood. He was burning with anger. This immortal is too overbearing, isn't he? He doesn't treat us mortals as humans. He wants to forcefully read our memories. Under the attack of anger, Xiao Han did not dare to be careless. His mental energy star continued to operate, and he even secretly used the destructive sky-destroying earth spiritual technique to prevent his memories from being pulled out of his sea of consciousness. Moreover, he tightly wrapped the golden light that had infiltrated his sea of consciousness. An endless sea of memories flowed into the vortex in the void like rivers flowing into the sea, and were grasped by the immortal figure. After 100 breaths, the immortal seemed to have read all the memories. Then he nodded slightly and said, I see. I've already grasped the entire process of your exploration into the genius zone. It turns out that the invincible blade divided his lair into 4 layers. The outermost genius zone is filled with treasures of the lowest quality. I've also grasped the treasures stored in the genius zone, but they're not that great. Countless human elites who had their memories forcibly read could only swallow their anger, not daring to speak up. The invincible blade's temperament is still the same as before. He's still so playful. He actually created a celestial stone competition. Top 32. Interesting. However, what's more interesting is the opening of the second layer of the treasure in 10 years. If the wealth in the first layer of the treasure is just some small things that the invincible blade casually collected back then from the second layer onwards, there should be extremely precious and extraordinary treasures. Not bad, not bad. From the second layer onwards, to the third and fourth layer, if all the treasures are obtained by the celestial realm, it can greatly increase the overall strength of the celestial realm. This is no small matter. The immortal's shadow muttered to himself. Sure enough, the celestial realm is not interested in the treasures in the genius zone. They can give them to us mortals. However, once they enter the second layer, they are determined to get it. Oh yes. From the second layer of the treasure of the invincible blade celestial emperor, as long as one has the celestial key, he is allowed to bring anyone into the treasure, including celestials. Now, the will of the celestial emperor has descended to the mortal world and personally asked about this matter. This means that in the exploration 10 years later, there will definitely be celestials who will enter. Xiao Han was optimistic. The immortal's shadow thought for a moment and then said sternly, I have already grasped the entire process. Red, orange, yellow, green, cyan, blue and purple. Each of the 7 celestial keys can bring a different number of people into the second layer of the invincible blade treasure. Celestials are not restricted. They can also enter. Then, many mortals listen up. All mortals who have obtained the celestial key this time must bring people from the celestial realm when you enter the second layer of the invincible blade treasure after KO year. Although the treasures in the genius zone are nothing to the celestial realm, it is a great opportunity for mortals like you to obtain them. You should be satisfied. Then, from the second layer onwards, it is not something that you can touch. What you need to do is to use the celestial keys that you have obtained to bring people from the celestial realm in. From the second layer onwards, all the treasures will belong to the celestial realm. Of course, if there are mortals with high talents, we will also train them. Maybe we will give them some treasures as a reward. Then, now, all of you will return to your respective planes and prepare for the exploration after KO year. After a few years, a large number of celestials will use a special method to descend into your planes. They will meet those mortals who have obtained the celestial keys and are below 10,000 years old. When that time comes, they will enter the second layer together. I have already obtained the coordinates of your planes. You can wait for the celestials to descend into your planes with peace of mind. With that said, all the old monsters standing on this continent looked at each other. In other words, all the monsters who had obtained the celestial keys and were below 10,000 years old would be visited by celestials in the next few years. The rule set by immortal Emperor Ju Dao was that the people who had obtained the celestial keys must quickly refine the celestial keys into their bodies. This way it would prevent people from snatching the celestial keys. As the saying went, the key existed as long as the person was alive. Therefore, this celestial did not directly ask for the celestial keys. If not, he would definitely snatch all the celestial keys and not let any mortals enter the second layer of the immortal Emperor Ju Dao's treasure. To put it simply, the mortals who had obtained the celestial keys became the guides of these celestials and led them into the second layer of the treasure. In this way we can probably still get some benefits. If we can please some celestials, that would be even better. Some of the monsters who had refined the celestial keys into their bodies and were below 10,000 years old were even somewhat complacent. In their eyes, there was a hint of complacency brewing. Red, orange, yellow, green, cyan, blue, purple, 7-colored celestial keys. The red celestial key can teleport one person to the second layer of the invincible saber's treasure. The orange celestial key can teleport 3 people to the second layer of the invincible saber's treasure. The yellow celestial key can teleport 10 people. The green celestial key can teleport 20 people. The blue celestial key can teleport 50 people. The blue celestial key can teleport 70 people. Finally, there is only one purple celestial key. The celestial shadow muttered to himself. Suddenly he paused and said sternly, "Who obtained the purple celestial key? Oh. The mortal who obtained the purple celestial key, come out now. Come out now." As soon as the celestial figure finished speaking, countless gazes from all directions turned toward Xiao Han. To be continued. Chapter 528. This supreme immortal emperors will actually said that the person who obtained the purple fairy key should come out. Suddenly, from all directions, many pairs of eyes stared at Xiao Han. Most of the gazes were filled with a sense of schadenfreude. Moreover, all the evil heroes near Xiao Han could not help but move away, as if they wanted to distance themselves from Xiao Han, draw a clear line and make their stand clear. Even Xiao Han's side, the pagoda master, many elders, and Yan Qi and the others were afraid of being involved, so they avoided him as if he was a snake or a scorpion. All of a sudden Xiao Han showed a sense of isolation and helplessness. The only people who stood beside Xiao Han and did not leave were Xiao Mingqiu, Luo Tianyu, the 5 evil hero slaves, and a few evil heroes who had been helped by Xiao Han. Damn it, this immortal, why does he want to see the person who obtained the purple fairy key? In a flash, Xiao Han's heart also tightened. However, Xiao Han knew that whether it was a blessing or a curse, he could not avoid it. Under the shroud of such an immortal's will, Xiao Han could not shrink away, he had to face it. Xiao Han calmed down, and the solid Vajra spirit power star in his brain sea of consciousness directly condensed to the size of a walnut. His spirit power was highly condensed to the limit. Xiao Han drove with his mind to condense the huge solid spirit power star into such a small point. Once it exploded, the power released was enough to destroy several planets. After the highly condensed spirit power star, Xiao Han could slightly resist the condensed and released immortal's will. Xiao Han worked out some countermeasures in a very short time and then, finally he walked out unhurriedly. The scene was extremely quiet. Oh, suddenly, in the void, in the turbulent whirlpool, the hazy immortals will made a light sound, looking slightly surprised. Then a sacred light beam directly refracted and shone on Xiao Han's head. Whoosh! This light beam directly penetrated Xiao Han's sea of consciousness. It directly entered Xiao Han's knowledge sea and began to search through Xiao Han's knowledge sea, wanting to obtain all of Xiao Han's secrets and memories. Humph! Xiao Han was indignant, but he remained calm and collected. The spiritual power star in his sea of consciousness became even more concentrated. It should be noted that Xiao Han's memories were stored in his soul, and his soul was fused with his mind power planet. Now, after the mental energy star was highly condensed, the density of the mental energy was as tough as an immortal artifact. As a result, the beam of celestial light was unable to penetrate Xiao Han's mind power planet. Soon, the silhouette of the immortal let out a dissatisfied snort. This cold snort was extremely light, but the souls of over 100 million elite human beings on the scene were all twitching, as if their souls were about to be crushed into powder. Their faces were all filled with terror. Now Xiao Han's mastery of mind power was becoming more and more like a fish in water. Soon Xiao Han deliberately revealed a portion of the memories in the mind power planet. This part of the memories was when Xiao Han was a live target in Cloud Rain sect, and when he was beaten up every day. Apart from that, Xiao Han's other memories were all sealed, preventing the celestial will from seeing through them. Oh, a living target for a puny secular sect? Not even an inner disciple? Beaten up like a punching bag every day? Isn't this a little too tragic? The celestial will immediately read this small portion of Xiao Han's memories. Then the beam of light it had released left Xiao Han's sea of consciousness and began to wander and scan Xiao Han's limbs, bones and internal organs. At that instant, Xiao Han's heart was clenched tightly, as he was afraid that the shocking secret of the demonic egg would be exposed. The entire world of immortals was currently searching for the demon god's soul and the demon egg. If the secret was exposed, Xiao Han would most likely be dissected on the spot. Fortunately, the great formation of immortals outside the heart had managed to resist the celestial will's probing. Miraculous indeed. Young man, you're truly heaven-defying. Mortals were usually as lowly as ants. Among billions of mortals, there might not even be one immortal who could ascend to immortality. Even if a mortal managed to condense an immortal body, become an immortal, and ascend to the world of immortals, they would be at the bottom of the heap. But you, young man, are a first-rate existence among mortals. You've obtained an immortal destiny. There's an immortal formation protecting your heart, making you undefeatable in the mundane world. Also, if I'm not mistaken, your body is the embryonic form of a dual-attribute immortal body. You've already condensed a bit of an immortal body. TSK, unbelievable. No wonder you were able to overwhelm everyone else, obtain first place and obtain the only purple immortal key. There was a hint of admiration in the celestial will's voice. But very quickly he changed the topic and said in a stern voice. But young man, you've blocked your memories and refused to let me read them. What crime do you deserve? A mere mortal dares to hide your memories from me? You've committed a crime worthy of implicating the entire plane. His voice was laced with fury, causing the surroundings to tremble and clouds to rise. In an instant, all the humans on the continent, with the exception of Xiao Han, fell to their knees. Like pitiful insects, they lowered their heads and trembled, letting out terrified wails. Celestial will please calm down. Celestial will please calm down. We mortals deserve to die 1,000 times for our crimes. Xiao Han forcefully withstood the celestial will's wrath. His mental power star churned, and he even continuously unleashed his extinguishing sky and earth mental attack. He forcefully withstood the enormous pressure the celestial will exerted on his mind, chi, and spirit. Mortals also have their own dignity. Mortals should also have their own secrets. Xiao Han braced himself and began to speak with fervor and assurance. Celestial will, your immortal power is boundless and above the mundane world. Why do you want to spy on the secrets of us insignificant mortals? Yes, I've indeed obtained an immortal destiny. One day in the future I might also become an immortal. When that time comes I'll also be an immortal. I'm afraid we'll be fated to meet, celestial will. Leave me some leeway now and it'll be easier to meet in the future. The celestial. In fact, the secrets of mortals. You don't care at all. That's insignificant and insignificant. What you care about is that purple immortal key. Then I'll admit it in front of you. I've indeed obtained the purple immortal key and refined it into my body. I've grasped all the mysteries of the purple immortal key. Ha ha. Shockingly, it was the will of that immortal. That celestial will burst into wild laughter. Good, you're truly an outstanding talent among mortals, a dragon among men. No mortal has ever dared to speak with assurance in front of me. Leave me some leeway now and it'll be easier to meet in the future. Interesting, very interesting. Not only the celestial will but all the humans on that continent were all shocked. Xiao Han was actually in front of an invincible celestial. He spoke in a tone that was neither servile nor overbearing. This kind of bearing. It was unique in the mundane world. If this kid doesn't die prematurely, he'll definitely become an immortal. And if he ascends to the immortal realm, he definitely won't be a bottom feeder. Countless old monsters nodded to themselves. Xiao Han persisted. This celestial, after refining the purple immortal key into my body, it'll become a part of my body. If I'm injured, I'm afraid the purple immortal key won't be able to keep it. Oh? Kid, are you threatening me? The celestial emperor said coldly. I wouldn't dare. I still want to enter the second level of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure trove 10 years later to explore the immortal fortune. I treasure my life very much now, and I won't anger the celestial emperor and incur a fatal disaster. However, if I'm forced into a corner, I'll have to self-destruct and completely destroy the purple immortal key. Xiao Han said eloquently. Xiao Han's mind was clear and his mind was sharp and full of tricks. He knew very well that he couldn't back down when facing a powerful celestial emperor. He had to take advantage of the celestial emperor's weakness in order to gain the upper hand. You dare to threaten an celestial at such a young age. The celestial emperor was obviously furious, but he didn't attack Xiao Han. He muttered to himself, that's right, after you refined the purple immortal key, it almost became a part of your divine soul. If you're slightly injured, the purple immortal key will be destroyed. That would be a waste. Good kid, now tell me what's so special about the purple immortal key. Zhu Dao only left a purple immortal key, and it's the most precious one. I'm afraid it's not that simple. Tell me the secret of the purple immortal key. There's nothing special about it, Xiao Han blurted out. This celestial, the purple immortal key, can bring 200 people into the second level of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure trove. It can only bring more people in than the other keys. There's nothing special about it. In fact, a trace of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's divine soul was sealed in the purple immortal key. Moreover, Xiao Han was selected as a candidate to inherit Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's legacy. Xiao Han naturally wouldn't reveal this shocking secret. Impossible. It's just a few more spots and he arranged for you geniuses among the mortals to fight to the death? This doesn't make sense. The celestial emperor was still suspicious. This celestial, when Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao opened the genius zone, he said that he saw us mortals as ants, pawns to play with. Not to mention giving us the purple immortal key, even if he didn't give us any reward and let us fight for nothing, we wouldn't dare to resist. Xiao Han argued. Indeed, Zhu Dao really likes to play. Kid, you've sealed your memory very firmly, so I can't read your memory to verify the truth of your words. But it doesn't matter. No matter how cunning you are, you can't compete with the people of the celestial realm. I'll believe you for now. Go back now. A few years later I'll send elites to your plane. We'll send enough people to follow you into the second level of the 200 spots. The celestial emperor finally let Xiao Han go. However, Xiao Han was also troubled. Now, in a few years, there would definitely be a large group of Celestials coming to Xiaohan's plane. At that time, Xiaohan's every move would probably be under their control. However, things had come to this, Xiaohan had no other choice. He could only try to fool them for now. Alright, all of you go back and wait for the Celestial to meet you. In the exploration 10 years later, all of you should be obedient, that's for the best. The Celestial Emperor's voice drifted far away. The whirlpool in the void finally closed and disappeared. To be continued? Chapter 529. Finally, the immortals will disappeared. The world regained its peace. Now that the will of immortals was gone, the countless old-timers on the continent slowly rose to their feet. As for Xiaohan, he let out a long sigh of relief. After the pressure dissipated, although his whole body relaxed, Xiaohan found that his whole body was soaked in cold sweat. Damn it, it was really dangerous just now. I actually dared to talk back to an immortal. Also, this immortal is afraid that I'll destroy the purple immortal key, so he's not too calculative with me for now. In a few years, I'm afraid that a large number of immortals will descend upon my plane and cause trouble for me. Heh, since he knows that the purple immortal key is in my hands, he'll definitely take special care of me. Damn it. How unlucky. Xiaohan couldn't help but curse inwardly. At this time, Xiao Mingqiu, Luo Tianyu, and the others hurried over and looked at Xiaohan in fear. Junior brother Xiaohan, how was it? Luo Tianyu looked at Xiaohan with an exaggerated expression and said, Little brother Xiaohan, it was really dangerous just now. You're too courageous. You actually argued with the immortals and even threatened them. It's really unbelievable for a mortal to do such a thing. Luo Tianyu looked at Xiaohan with an exaggerated expression. I was forced into a dead end. Am I supposed to just stand there and let them do whatever they want? Xiaohan said helplessly. I hope it doesn't affect the stability of our plane. The pagoda master walked over with a sheepish smile. Xiaohan, the pagoda lord said, I'm just worried that you've angered the immortals, and that they'll come down to punish our plane of existence. If the immortals get angry, our plane of existence will be reduced to ashes. That's a price we can't afford. Pagoda master, don't try to guess the thoughts of the immortal. If I cause trouble, I will try my best to bear it alone. Xiaohan said with a cold smile. Try your best to bear it alone? Yanqi muttered. Then, what if you can't bear it? Hee. Xiaohan looked at Yanqi coldly. Yanqi's scalp went numb. He quickly spoke in a weak voice, trying to please Xiaohan. Xiaohan, don't misunderstand. I'm just saying if I, Xiaohan, can't handle it, then I can only resign myself to fate. Xiaohan shrugged. The pagoda master and Yanqi looked at each other and smiled. Alright, let's return to the plane, Xiaohan said. At this time, the countless human monsters on this continent had already flown away in large groups, dispersing in all directions. Let's go home. We've also gained a lot from this expedition. When we get back, we'll study the few immortal artifacts we've obtained and find out how to use them. Once we learn how to use immortal artifacts, the strength of our entire plane will skyrocket, and we will be able to destroy the demon clan and unify the world. Come, let's go back too. With so many immortal pills, refining them into pills suitable for us will definitely be of great benefit to us. We obtained a special immortal item, the Sword Immortal Puppet. As long as it has enough energy, it can release the power of an immortal. Once we get back, we can study this heaven-defying treasure. That way, our children will have enough resources to continue exploring in 10 years. A large number of human Taoists parted ways and went their own ways. Everyone went back the way they came. They first returned to the space springboard that teleported them here. However, there were also many old monsters who came to befriend Xiaohan. Young man, your spirit and bearing are extraordinary and superior. You have unlimited potential. We all have high hopes for you. Young man, it doesn't hurt to have one more friend. Tell us the coordinates of your plane. We can go to your plane in the future and have a drink with you. We can even learn martial arts from you. Young man, why don't we tell you the coordinates of our plane? If you want to have fun in our plane, the entire Monster Hero Pagoda will welcome you with open arms. Countless powerful existences took the initiative to befriend Xiaohan. They even tried to curry favor with him. Xiaohan dealt with them one by one. As the master of the plane, the pagoda master of Xiaohan's plane was ignored. No expert from the other planes paid any attention to the pagoda master. This made the pagoda master's eyes darken even more. He looked at Xiaohan coldly, his eyes flashing with crazy jealousy. Xiaohan. You're not the pagoda master yet. What right do you have to negotiate with the leaders of the other planes? What right do you have to tell the coordinates of your plane to outsiders? How dare you? I'm the master of this plane, the leader of this plane. The pagoda master's heart was surging with crazy jealousy. He felt like a dove occupying a magpie's nest. Xiao Han perfunctorily brushed off the leaders of the other planes who wanted to befriend him. It took him a lot of effort to get away. Let's go home. At this moment, Xiao Han's eyes flashed with eagerness to return home. Let's go, the pagoda master said coldly. Then dozens of people began to return the way they came. Now Xiao Han and the others were going to return to the space springboard from which they were teleported. Then they would go through a 15-day teleportation and fly for more than 200 days to return to their hometown. During the flight, Pagoda Master, you don't look too good. A few trusted elders whispered to the Pagoda Master. The Pagoda Master snorted coldly. This, Pagoda Master, there's no need to be like this. You see, a weak plane like ours actually didn't have much hope when we participated in the exploration of the Genius Zone. We were even mentally prepared to be wiped out. However, after the exploration ended, some of us survived and obtained a small number of immortal pills and a few immortal weapons. That Luo Tianyu also obtained a secret immortal technique manual. When we return to the plane, we can ask him to make a copy of it so that we can comprehend the immortal technique. An elder comforted. Shut up. Don't speak. I know what I'm doing. The Pagoda Master rudely cut them off. As for Xiao Han, junior brother Xiao Han, you have to be careful of the Pagoda Master, Yan Qi and the others. Xiao Mingchu reminded him in a low voice. I see that their eyes are evasive like ghosts. It seems like they're planning some kind of evil plot against you, junior brother Xiao Han. It's all right. Xiao Han smiled casually. Now I can kill the Pagoda Master with just a thought. If he dares to jump out, I'll kill him if I want him dead. However, he's the master of a plane after all. If he dies, the order of the plane will fall into chaos. If he dies, there'll be no one to manage the plane. It'll be very troublesome. The world will be in chaos and the people will suffer. Little brother Xiao Han, you don't have to worry about this. You can take over the position of Pagoda Master. You deserve it, Luo Tianyu said seriously. Ah, big brother Luo, I don't plan to do that. I don't want to be haunted by the secular world. Right now, what I need to do is to cultivate properly. I have 10 years to prepare. When the time comes, many of the monsters in the Genius Zone who have obtained immortal fate will improve greatly. I can't lose to them. I also need to cultivate diligently and increase my combat power. Moreover, many immortals will descend in a few years. When that time comes, there will be a storm. I can't predict what the result will be. Only by increasing my combat power will I have enough resources to deal with them. Xiao Han was also very serious. I'll have to spend the next 10 years cultivating. That's good too. Xiao Mingchu nodded slightly. Then his brows relaxed. Ah, I'll be able to return to my hometown soon and meet the sect master. Junior brother Xiao Han, if the sect master knows about your achievements now, he'll definitely... Ha, it's hard to imagine the sect master's expression. Ha, I'm also looking forward to it. I also want to see the sect master immediately. I want to see senior brother Fang Ling and senior brother Dong Fang Qin. A look of longing appeared in Xiao Han's eyes. I also want to see Yan Xue and Shirong, and, Yunrong is about to be poisoned. This. Xiao Han was extremely worried when he thought of Xiao Yunrong, whose life and death were unknown. He could only endure the pain and not touch this matter. Not long after, Xiao Han and the others returned to the space springboard. The Pagoda Master took out a large number of supreme-grade True Chi Spirit Stones and placed them into the teleportation formation eye of the space springboard. Xiao Han also took out some immortal stones. Although these immortal stones were very common in the celestial world, the energy contained in them could not be compared to the supreme-grade True Chi Spirit Stones in the human world. With enough energy, the space springboard began to operate. A strong teleportation vortex enveloped Xiao Han and the others. Then, the 15-day teleportation officially began. 15 days later, the teleportation is over. We are getting closer and closer to our hometown. The heroes on Xiao Han's side all cheered and jumped. This time, it could be said that they were returning home in glory. Go. Fly faster. I don't know if we will encounter the hallucinatory demonic realm on the way. However, even if we encounter it now, we are not afraid. During our exploration in the Genius Zone, our minds and souls have been tempered and we have made great progress. Now, we can calmly deal with those hallucinatory demonic realm. We don't have to worry about being possessed. Heh, there shouldn't be any twists and turns when we go home. Xiao Han smiled. Moreover, those who can return alive will definitely improve at lightning speed in the future. Yes, with this time's tempering, we have all made a leap and achieved a qualitative breakthrough. Xiao Mingqiu nodded as he felt the same. He was now in existence at the True Qi 9th level True Treasure Realm. In this plane, on the Monster Hero ranking, it was enough to be ranked among the ancient giants. Let's go. Now the Pagoda Master was also trembling with excitement. Everyone, let's go. It's time to go home. Shio, 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 everyone quickly flew. Destination. Hometown. Xiao Han's Plain. The misty Pure Mountain Range. The strict Pure Mountain Sect. In the back garden of the Pure Mountain Sect. Sect Master Wu Yu was trimming the flowers and plants. Fang Ling and Dongfang Qin stood at the side with their hands down. Sect Master, it has been more than a year. I don't know how junior brother Xiao Han and eldest senior brother are doing. Dongfang Qin said worriedly. I don't know. The genius zone is full of ups and downs. It involves the competition between the geniuses of the universe level. Although I am very optimistic about Xiao Han, but it is hard to say. Wu Yu paused his movements and looked far away at the white clouds in the sky. However, I always feel that Xiao Han and Mingqiu are not dead. To be continued. Chapter 530. After going through so many hardships and near-death experiences, Xiao Han and his companions from the other planes were finally on their way back. On the way back to the plane, there wouldn't be any overly dangerous cosmic energy turbulence. There were only some spiritual fragments. Hallucinatory demonic lands. To the heroes who had experienced the tempering of the genius zone, these hallucinatory demonic lands would not pose any threat. Thus the road back was smooth and smooth. Moreover, Xiao Han's battle strength was unparalleled, causing the people from the other planes to not dare to plot against him along the way. Shio, 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 everyone flew at a constant speed. Along the way they encountered some hallucinatory demonic lands. Xiao Han also collected them and refined them into the spiritual star in his sea of consciousness. However, currently these hallucinatory demonic lands will not have much effect on my spiritual force. They will not be able to help me break through to the 20-second spiritual finger technique and increase my foundation. Xiao Han was clear in his heart. With my current spiritual force, although it is strong, it will be extremely difficult to continue improving it. Xiao Han pondered as he flew. In the secular world, I'm afraid it will be difficult to find a divine medicine that can nourish my spiritual force. I'm afraid I will need to take an immortal pill to be able to see immediate results and help me break through to the 20-second spiritual finger technique. Yes, an immortal pill for spiritual force. Because my physical body is already so strong that it is invincible in the secular world, it has the embryonic form of an immortal body. Therefore, my soul will not be bound by the physical body and will not encounter a bottleneck because of it. As long as I have enough immortal pills that can nourish my spiritual force, I will be able to continue cultivating the extinguishing sky decimating earth mental technique. However, Xiao Han did not have any immortal pills that could nourish spiritual force. After killing Li Xiaotian, Jida, Naga and the others, Xiao Han had indeed obtained some treasures from them. Among them were many immortal pills, but Xiao Han had identified them one by one. There were definitely no immortal pills that could nourish the spiritual force. Now that I think about it, among the immortal pills stored in the genius zone, there seems to be no immortal pills that can nourish the spiritual force. Nourishing and strengthening the spiritual force is not a small matter. I'm afraid that such immortal pills can only appear on the second floor of the Judao Immortal Emperor's treasure trove, or even the third or fourth floor. Forget it. Let's not worry about that for now. I'll get rid of all distracting thoughts and return to my hometown. I'll take a good rest and recuperate for a period of time. Then I'll try to break through to the real Qi stage. Xiao Han decided. Based on Xiao Han's current spiritual accumulation, it would not be a problem for him to reach the 7th stage of True Qi, the Talisman Materialization Realm, or even the 8th or 9th stage of True Qi. His accumulation was already huge enough. Now he just wanted to see how powerful Xiao Han would be when he tried to break through the realms of true energy. In this expedition I killed all the elites of the Rong Plane. In the Genius Zone, I personally slaughtered several heaven-defying geniuses. Then I fought against countless Tower Master-level old monsters and slaughtered them in all directions. This kind of accumulation is unparalleled among mortals. Now, I have a premonition that when I break through to the next realm of true energy, I will create a legend in the history of mortals. I'm just curious as to what kind of level it can reach and to what extent can it reach. Xiao Han was also very curious. Xiao Mingqiu also said with a trembling voice. Junior brother Xiao Han, go back and try to break through. With your current accumulation, I'm afraid you can directly reach the 10th stage of true energy and open the celestial eye. Yes, junior brother Xiao Han. With your strength, reaching the celestial eye realm from the expanded acupoint realm is definitely not a difficult task. TSK, to leap from the 6th stage of true energy to the 10th stage of true energy. Since ancient times, among billions and billions of mortals, such a thing has never happened before. Luo Tianyu also said in amazement. Such an unprecedented grand occasion, I, your elder brother, must properly observe the ceremony. Ah. Little brother Xiao Han, what kind of miracle will you create? Let's wait and see. Hee. Xiao Han also laughed, full of hope. The 5 of you return to your plane now. During the break between flights, Xiao Han also summoned his 5 demon warrior slaves. Master, we pledge our lives to follow you. The 5 slaves said seriously. No need, Xiao Han waved his hand and said seriously. Listen, I now order you to return to your plane. This time, Rong and many of the elders under him, including all the demon warriors except for the 5 of you, have all died, resulting in a total annihilation. The 5 of you can swagger back. No one will suspect you. Moreover, you have also obtained some immortal pills and immortal weapons from the Genius Zone. After you go back, study and use these treasures well. I hope that you can become the master of the plane and replace the previous Rong's position. You control the plane. If I need to, I will bring my family and move over. Do you understand? Xiao Han was also making preparations for a rainy day. He had already fallen out with the tower master of this plane and might leave the plane in the future. Coincidentally, the 5 slaves could reorganize and create a prosperous and powerful plane, leaving a way out for Xiao Han. The 5 slaves exchanged glances with each other. Master, we understand. Master, please rest assured, we have obtained many immortal treasures this time. After we go back, cultivate well, and in the future we will definitely surpass Rome. We will create a powerful plane that belongs to you, Master. Xiao Han's 5 slaves vowed solemnly. That's good. Leave your coordinates. After 10 years, I will find you and give you a place to enter the 2nd level of Immortal Emperor Judao's treasure. Xiao Han smiled. After that, the 5 slaves left the coordinates of the plane, bid farewell to Xiao Han, and returned to their own plane. 200 days later. We're almost home. The demon warriors of Xiao Han's plane all cheered excitedly. Phew! The tower master also let out a long sigh of relief. Even though the rise of Xiao Han had caused the pagoda master to feel extremely displeased, he was able to return to his homeland in one piece. Thus, his mood gradually became optimistic and joyful. Junior brother Xiao Han, I can already smell the aura of the Purity Mountain range. Xiao Mingqiu said exaggeratedly. Eldest senior brother, after we go back, let's go straight to the Purity Mountain range. We won't go to the Demon Warrior region for now. Xiao Han was also eager to return. Xiao Han's plane. Purity Sect. Purity Mountain Range. Xiao Han's True Inheritance Mountain Peak. At this time, on the peak of Xiao Han's True Inheritance Mountain, the fragrance of medicinal herbs filled the air. Between the fields, there were crisscrossing paths, and all kinds of colorful flowers and herbs were planted. Colorful butterflies were dancing among them. In some areas where the medicinal aura was extremely dense, even the soil seemed to have turned into precious pills. This mountain peak revealed a kind of ethereal elegance and an extraordinary beauty. It was like a paradise in the secular world. At this moment, in a medicinal field, there was an old man wearing a conical bamboo hat. He was carrying a bamboo basket on his back. He was using tools such as a hoe to carefully dig out mature medicinal herbs. Not far away there were 3 women as beautiful as fairies. They wore simple clothes, but their temperament was picturesque, like goddesses in the mortal world. These 3 stunning beauties were also carrying baskets on their backs and holding tools in their hands. They were busy in the medicinal field. In a short while, the baskets on their backs were filled with medicinal herbs of various colors. The 3 beauties sat on the edge of the field and whispered to each other. These 3 beauties were Xiao Han's wives, Jing Yanxue and Lan Shirong. The other one was Princess Mo Hen, who Xiao Han had people bring back from the great desolate ancient village before he left. Princess Mo Hen, along with all her family members, had already moved to the Purity Mountain range. At this moment, on Xiao Han's True Inheritance Mountain Peak, Many exquisite and elegant wooden houses were built for Princess Mo Hen's family members and servants to live in. At this moment, Jing Yanxue and Lan Shirong, apart from being incomparably beautiful, had the charm of a woman who had just become a man's wife. As for Princess Mo Hen, she seemed more immature and pure. I didn't think that uncle would hide a mistress in his golden house and hide you, Princess Mo Hen? Jing Yanxue teased. What mistress in his golden house? Mo Hen is only a princess in distress. Sisters, don't laugh at me, Mo Hen said shyly. Mo Hen's heart was already overflowing with happiness to be brought back by the man she liked. The only thing that was not beautiful was that the man she liked had gone out to train and had not returned yet. This made her full of worry. He has already left for a year. I don't know when he will be able to return safely. Mo Hen put her hands together and made a praying gesture. Mo Hen, don't worry. He is a deity that has descended to the mortal world. In his life, he will always be able to turn misfortune into fortune. He will definitely come back. And we should learn medicine refining from Great Master Yan Lang. When he comes back, we will be able to refine the best medicine for him. Lan Shirong said with a gentle face. At this time, the old man wearing a bamboo hat, who was immersed in digging medicine, also raised his head. He slightly wiped the sweat on his forehead. This person was Yan Lang. After Yan Lang became Xiao Han's slave, he wholeheartedly served Xiao Han and was completely loyal. During this period of time, he taught his medicine refining skills to the three women. At this time, a middle-aged man with an elegant temperament slowly walked through the small path of the field and came over. Was Wuyu. Sect Master, he has come. Jing Yanxue and the others also quickly ran over to greet him. Wuyu smiled and nodded. Then he walked towards Yan Lang. Sect Master Wu. Yan Lang smiled. Great Master Yan Lang, is the feng shui of my Purity Mountain range good? These medicinal fields look like they're growing well. It's a scene of prosperity. Wu Hu greeted Yan Lang with a smile. Yes, the Six Peaks mountain range is a holy land for cultivating one's body and tempering one's character. It is also a holy land for martial arts and even more so, an excellent place to cultivate medicinal fields. Yan Lang praised. Great Master, you praise me too much. Wu Yu laughed involuntarily and then said seriously. Many thanks for Great Master's contributions to our sect this year. After taking the sacred medicine refined by Great Master, my Purity Mountain sect has produced no less than 100 true disciples in a year. Ha ha. Sect Master Wu is too polite. Yan Lang said with a slight smile. In reality, I can still refine even more heaven-defying medicine. However, I am wanted by the entire plane and don't dare to expose my whereabouts, and even more so, I don't dare to expose my medicine refining methods in order to avoid being discovered. Otherwise, I wouldn't dare to boast, but it wouldn't be a problem for my Purity Mountain sect to create a few 7th and 8th level true Qi giants. No matter. Great Master, it's better for you to keep a low profile. If you cause a big commotion, I'm also worried that I won't be able to protect you. If anything happens to Great Master, when Xiao Han returns to the sect and questions him, our sect won't be able to bear the responsibility. Wu Yu joked. After pausing for a moment, Wu Yu said seriously. Great Master, you and Xiao Han have a master-servant relationship. Now, can you sense whether Xiao Han is alive or dead? Wu Yu already knew that Xiao Han had used the remnant of the mysterious spiritual technique to enlighten Yan Lang. There must be a subtle spiritual connection between Yan Lang and Xiao Han. That was why Wu Yu asked this question. Yan Lang closed his eyes as if he was sensing something. After a dozen breaths, he opened his eyes, and a strange light shone in them. My master is still alive. Moreover, the aura of his soul is getting stronger and stronger. If I didn't sense wrongly, Master is getting closer and closer to us. In other words, Master is returning from the genius zone. To be continued. Chapter 531. In the Boundless Universe. After traveling for more than 260 days, Xiao Han and the others finally, in front of Xiao Han and the others, a continent appeared 1,000 miles away. Compared to the lifeless meteorites they saw along the way, this continent was full of vitality. On this continent, there were azure oceans, continuous mountain ranges, lush green forests. There were also empires, dynasties, commoners, and all living beings. We're home. We're finally home. All of a sudden, Xiao Han's psychic wave swept over that piece of land, and he felt a little touched. The pagoda master and the others cheered in unison. We finally arrived safely. The pagoda master trembled with excitement. Then the pagoda master looked at Xiao Han. Xiao Han, would you like to return to the Yaoxiao pagoda with me? You have many treasures with you. You can take them out and study them after we return to the Yaoxiao pagoda. Xiao Han, don't worry. We won't covet your treasures. We'll just take a look. Oh, I won't return to the Yaoxiao pagoda first. I'll return to the Pure Cloud sect. Xiao Han rejected him directly. Then he took out a few immortal skill manuals from his storage ring. These were some of the items he obtained after killing his opponents in the Immortal Stone competition. These immortal arts and secret manuals are my contribution to the plane. However, mortals can't touch the immortal skill manuals. They can only study them a little. It's enough if they can understand a little. Xiao Han threw the immortal skill manuals to the pagoda master. Then he flew into the plane with Xiao Mingqiu and returned to the Pure Cloud mountain range. The pagoda master held the immortal skill manuals that Xiao Han gave him. His expression flickered. Then he gritted his teeth and snorted. He can take out a few immortal skill manuals so casually as if he's giving them to me? Xiao Han, I wonder how many heaven-defying treasures he has. Damn it. He only took out a few immortal skill manuals. Does he think I'm a beggar? The pagoda master said helplessly. Let's go. Let's return to the Yaoxiao pagoda. Pure Cloud mountain range. Early morning. The mist was like immortal qi as it enveloped the entire unbroken mountains, purifying the land of the mortal world until it looked like a celestial paradise. Dawn was the most important part of the day. At this time, countless inner disciples, outer disciples, and inner disciples of the Pure Cloud sect were already practicing their martial skills in the dojos on the various mountains. It was worth mentioning that the Pure Rain sect had produced Xiao Han, who had started out as a living target. Therefore, a few years ago the sect leader Wu Li had pardoned all the living targets in the sect, making all of them disciples of the sect. If anyone was unwilling to practice martial arts, they would be given money and fertile land, allowing them to leave the sect and live a prosperous life. In the past few years, the Pure Cloud sect had also developed and become a powerful sect in the entire southern region. It could even rival some of the major sects in the eastern region. The morning of this day seemed to be no different from any other day. However, suddenly rays of light, auspicious qi and precious radiance crisscrossed and enveloped the entire mountain range. Mysterious phenomena appeared, the air was filled with the fragrance of sandalwood, the air currents surged and celestial music rose in spirals. In that instant, the entire cloud sect seemed to be completely enveloped by an immortal realm. What's going on? On a mountain peak in the outer sanctum, hundreds of outer sanctum disciples who were practicing martial arts looked up at the sky in bewilderment. At the same time, countless disciples of the Pure Cloud sect on the inner and outer peaks were stunned by the sight before them. They could not help but stare at the sky in all directions. Whoosh, 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 rays of qi flew out from the legacy mountains in the inner region of the mountain range. Who is it that has come to the Pure Cloud sect? The true qi realm cultivators of the Pure Cloud sect swarmed out. The person in the lead was a swordsman in white. As he walked in the air, waves of sword qi rippled around him, blooming lotus flowers of sword qi. It was as if every step he took was a lotus and every step he took was a sword. This person was Fang Ling currently. Fang Ling had made great progress in both his cultivation of true qi and his sword intent. He had the aura of a minor powerhouse. I wonder which expert has come to our Pure Cloud sect? Fang Ling asked in a loud voice. There's no expert. Senior brother Fang Ling, how have you been? As the clouds dispersed, Xiao Han and Xiao Mingqiu approached from afar. What? In the air, Fang Ling's body shook violently. He almost lost his balance and fell. Fang Ling's eyes widened as he looked at Xiao Mingqiu and Xiao Han. Then, Suddenly, Fang Ling let out a long roar and let out a hearty laugh. Eldest senior brother. Junior brother Xiao Han. Eldest senior brother and junior brother Xiao Han of our Pure Cloud sect have returned from the Genius Zone. Ring the bell. Announced to the entire sect. The next moment, whoosh, a ray of black light flew high into the sky and crashed into Xiao Han's arms. Junior brother Xiao Han. Dong Fangqin had already rushed out and gave Xiao Han a bear hug. You're back. You're back. Safe and sound. Soon even Wu Yu personally came out to welcome them. In the misty rain, Wu Yu's left eye was cloudy and his right eye was drizzling. He was like a saint who was above the mortal world. He also walked towards Xiao Han and Xiao Mingqiu. At this moment he seemed to be unable to maintain his composure. He directly walked to Xiao Han and Xiao Mingqiu's side and heavily patted their shoulders. For a moment Wu Yu's throat seemed to be choked. He couldn't say much and could only say, "You've improved, you've all improved. Xiao Han's true inheritance mountain peak. He's back." Lan Shirong, Jing Yanxue, and Mo Hen all cheered and jumped up. Their beautiful eyes were filled with happy and excited tears. "Sect Master Wu Yu is back. Are you well?" At this moment, Xiao Han's entire body was brimming with happiness. At this moment in Xiao Han's world, Demon Capital. The Demon Clan's lair. Last time, Xiao Han had wreaked havoc in the Demon Capital. Not only had he kidnapped Yen Lang, but he had also killed countless demon emperors and mutated demon emperors. Especially when Xiao Han was possessed by the demonic god. Just a little bit of his aura was enough to shatter countless demonic beasts, and he even killed a demonic emperor in an instant. This caused the demonic beasts in this plane to suffer great losses. When Xiao Han and the others had left the plane to explore the Genius Zone, the Demon Hero Pagoda had been empty. In fact, the entire human world had been undefended. However, the demon race no longer had the resources to cause trouble. They could only cower in the ruins of the demon capital and struggle at death's door. At the same time, they had also hatched some sinister plots. At this moment, the demon capital was extremely cold and cheerless. In fact, there was even a lingering smell of ruin. Every inch of space still had the lingering scent of disaster. On every floor of the demon metropolis, a large number of buildings collapsed. The Earth's crust had been deformed and cracked. Ruins could be seen everywhere. The third level of the demon capital. In the collapsed five-colored demon palace. With Emperor Woodfern in the lead, 9 demon emperors floated in 9 different directions. Thick and violent demon chi filled the air. Emperor Woodfern, it's been a long time since the silver-masked demon emperor destroyed the foundation of our demon race. I wonder where the silver-masked demon emperor is now. I don't know when we can take our revenge. One of the demon emperors said in a strange tone. Moreover, after Grandmaster Yen Lang was kidnapped, there are no more treasures that can help our ordinary demon emperors evolve into mutated demon emperors. If this continues, we will be hunted down by the human demon heroes. Don't worry. Emperor Woodfern's face was dyed with madness. He was hysterical. Very soon, the situation will turn for the better. I've already used a secret art to send some messages out with our plane as the center. I've already told the demon race in the countless neighboring planes. Yes, I've already received a lot of feedback. The demon race armies of the various planes. It's coming. I've already sent the coordinates of our plane to the demon race in the other planes. Among them, there are some demon race 10 times, 100 times stronger than us. Ha ha ha, let us all perish together. If worst comes to worst, we'll all perish together. If we're lucky, those high-level demon race experts from other planes will become our pawns. They'll help us wipe out the human demon heroes in this plane, and they might even help us capture the silver-masked demon emperor. Of course, if we're unlucky, our plane might be invaded and occupied by the high-level demon race experts from other planes. Half and half. Half and half. But if we don't do this, we'll lose everything. We'll all die at the hands of those damn demon hero pagoda. This time, I'm betting everything on this. Emperor Woodfern, what's the situation with the high-level demon race experts from other planes? Are they coming? A few monarch beasts asked nervously. Yes, the news has long since been sent out. However, in the vast universe, the distance between any plane and another plane is extremely far. Between the neighboring planes was a vast and boundless universe. The universe was filled with all kinds of energy such as peck wind, black thunder, blue fire, sky fire, black hole, space fragment, meteorite stream. Even with the precise coordinates of the universe, it would still take some time for demons from other planes to fly over. However, now, I've received news that at least 100 demon race tribes from other planes have heard the news and are rushing over. They'll all enter our plane in a month at the latest. They're on their way. Moreover, there will be more and more demon clan tribes entering our plane one after another. Roar? When that time comes, our plane will be engulfed in a storm of blood. All humans will become our food. We'll break the balance with the demon hero pagoda. This plane will become a paradise for the demon race. The human race will perish. A boundless disaster will descend. Despair, slaughter, fear, death, plague. Roar, demon race army, destroy everything. To be continued. Chapter 532. After Xiao Han and Xiao Mingchu returned to the Pure Cloud sect, the entire sect celebrated. They were immersed in a sea of joy. The disciples sang and danced, held a feast, released countless cows and sheep, and brought out countless jars of wine. The atmosphere was as lively as New Year's Eve. It was an unprecedented grand occasion. Now, almost all the core disciples of the Pure Cloud sect knew that Xiao Han and Xiao Mingqiu had returned from the Genius Zone. What was the Genius Zone? It included countless elite geniuses in the universe, and there was a fierce competition. Countless powerful planes gave birth to countless monstrous geniuses with extremely high life levels. In a situation like this, the geniuses sent by the weaker planes were basically sending themselves to their deaths. Under such a terrible situation, the two disciples of the Pure Cloud sect not only returned alive, but also killed many monstrous geniuses from other planes and brought back many immortal treasures. The entire Pure Cloud sect was proud. At this point, the development of the Pure Cloud sect had reached the most glorious stage since its establishment. No one in the entire plane could match it. In the Pure Cloud Palace, Xiao Mingqiu spoke eloquently about Xiao Han's performance in the Genius Zone, as well as how he had single-handedly taken on countless fiendish Taoist antiques after leaving the Genius Zone, and how he had killed people as if they were chopping melons and vegetables. Hearing this, Lord Wu, who had always been calm and collected, was dumbfounded. Fang Ling and Dong Fangqin were also suffocating. Horrifying. Xiao Han. This sect had previously predicted that if you and Mingqiu could return from the Genius Zone alive, then without a doubt the two of you would have made great progress. However, Mingqiu is still fine. From the 8th level of True Qi, he ascended to the 9th level of True Qi. His progress could be considered normal. But Xiao Han, you can actually ignore the huge difference in realms and instantly kill tower masters like killing pigs and dogs? How much time has passed? You are already so heaven-defying. Even if you are the reincarnation of an immortal, it's impossible for you to have such rapid progress. Wu Lu looked at Xiao Han as if he was looking at a monster. Sect Master, you are exaggerating. This disciple only has some immortal fate and luck. Xiao Han said embarrassedly. Immortal fate is reserved for those with strength and foundation, not myself. Even if the immortal fate comes, I will definitely miss it. I can't grasp it. Blackbird waved his hand. Xiao Han, you don't have to be modest. Right now, you are invincible in this plane. No one is a match for you. You can instantly kill our tower master. Xiao Han, it seems that you shouldn't place your sights on this plane. You should have a long-term plan. Right now, you can imagine the situation in the immortal world. At this rate, you'll be able to become an immortal in less than 100 years. Immortal ascension. Mortals defy the heavens, like carps leaping over the dragon gate and ascending to the heavens. Become an immortal. Fang Ling and Dong Fangqin exclaimed at the same time. This kind of thing only exists in ancient records. I never thought that it would actually happen right in front of us. Moreover, it's our junior brother. This is a dream. All of this is like a dream. Fang Ling even bulged his eyes. After staring at Xiao Han for 100 breaths, he finally muttered. Xiao Han. Less than 100 years old and has a 99% chance of becoming an immortal. Back then he was a live target and was bullied by the disciples in that small town. Even a pill that I casually gave him couldn't be preserved and was snatched away. But now, in the blink of an eye, he's about to become an immortal. Killing a tower master with a spiritual fluctuation. He can destroy a secular empire. In the secular world, he can call the wind and summon the rain. Senior brother Fang Ling, I'm embarrassed by your words. Don't praise me anymore. Xiao Han smiled innocently. Then Xiao Han also said seriously. Sect Master, senior brothers, I returned to this plane this time for a short period of time. After 10 years, I still have to participate in the second layer exploration of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure. Sect Master, you're right. I shouldn't put my sights on this secular world anymore. I must pursue a higher level world. For example, the immortal world. And in the exploration 10 years later, I have a hunch that there will be a greater opportunity waiting for me. Perhaps, the exploration of the second layer of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure will be an important link for me to contact the immortal world. Yes. Junior brother Xiao Han, you must participate in the exploration 10 years later. You're the biggest winner among the hundreds of millions of geniuses in the Genius Zone. Vaguely, the supreme luck has already blessed you. I also predict that you will make brilliant achievements in the exploration 10 years later. Maybe, the exploration 10 years later can make you directly become an immortal. Dong Fangqin also encouraged. However, Xiao Han was not blindly optimistic. However, the exploration 10 years later will no longer be dominated by us mortals. The people of the immortal world will also participate. After a few years, Those who obtain the immortal key to enter the second layer of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure will be found by the immortals. A large number of places to enter the second layer will be controlled by the immortals. In other words, the secular demons will inevitably become the puppets of the immortals. And I have refined 2 immortal keys. Among them, the purple immortal key is extremely valued by the immortals. Xiao Han smiled bitterly. After a few years, I don't know how many powerful immortals will come to find me. I can't help it. So, Sect Master, Senior Brothers, I must be humble in the exploration 10 years later. At that time, it will be no small matter to deal with the immortals. If I'm not careful, my reputation will be ruined and I will be turned into ashes. When the immortals are angry, the plane will be turned into ashes. It's not a joke. When they heard Xiao Han say that a large number of powerful immortals would descend to the plane in a few years, Wu Yu and the others were extremely shocked. Although they were the strongest of the secular human race, they had never seen a real immortal in their lives. When they thought that they would see the grace of the immortals with their own eyes in a few years, they felt both curious and suffocating pressure. Moreover, the evil hero who has obtained the fairy weapon and elixir pill this time will also make great progress in the next 10 years. He will not be able to be mentioned in the same breath as before. Junior brother Xiao Han, you really can't let your guard down. It's right to seize the time to cultivate. Xiao Mingqiu also looked serious. Through this adventure, I've also come to understand how weak I am. However, I've also been inspired to work hard and learn to cultivate by hanging myself from a beam. Well, all of you cultivate hard. Accumulate the foundation for the great immortal opportunity 10 years later. Xiao Han looked at Wu Yu. Sect Master. Senior brother Fang Ling, Senior brother Dongfang Qin. 10 years later, the quota to enter the second floor of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure. I have 270 here. Even if most of it is given to the immortals, there will still be some left. Hey, let's go together then. Our strength is not enough. Dongfang Qin immediately blurted out. Wu Yu also shook his head helplessly. Xiao Han, we can't compete with the extraordinary geniuses of other planes, let alone the immortals. But the opportunity 10 years later, I can't help but be tempted. That's an opportunity that every mortal dreams of. Sect Master, it's okay, Xiao Han said seriously. This time I brought back some elixirs. Mortals can't directly take the elixirs, but we have the most outstanding alchemist in the plane, Yen Lang. He will definitely refine a neutralizing medicine so that we can enjoy the elixirs. With the elixirs we can improve our strength. In addition, I have some immortal weapons here. In this way, Sect Master, Senior Brothers, we may have the ability to protect ourselves. Good. 10 years later, our sect will also give it a try. To be able to enter the second floor of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure. Even if I die, I can die in peace. Wu Yu finally made a decision. Then Wu Yu smiled and said, All right, Xiao Han, the celebration outside is in full swing, let's go out too. Xiao Han. Your wives have been yearning for you day and night, now that you're back, why don't you go see them? Night. Stars and moons filled the sky. On the main peak of the Pure Cloud sect, a bonfire was burning. These delicacies from land and sea could be found everywhere. A strange fragrance assailed the nostrils. That night, all the disciples of the Pure Cloud sect made an exception and climbed the main peak, singing and dancing, celebrating. Under the light of the bonfire, Xiao Han and Xiao Mingqiu held wine cups in their hands, accepting blessings from all sides, and downed the cups heroically. Xiao Han's good brother, Ah Cho, was currently cultivating outside. It was said that his true qi cultivation was not weak. In the domain of the third-level true qi, he could be considered a small expert. In addition, under the bonfire, Lan Shirong, Jing Yanxue, and Mo Hen's beautiful faces were illuminated red, beautiful beyond compare, brimming with smiles of the happiest women in the world. As their eyes moved, they were extremely charming. They all looked at their man with boundless affection. They knew in their hearts that their man was already the most powerful existence in this plane. Crazy worship and true love surged and burned in their hearts, unable to be restrained, unable to be extinguished. Now, no matter what Xiao Han asked them to do, they would absolutely not refuse. After celebrating for a while, Xiao Han called Yen Lang into an art courtyard on the main peak. Ah! Roar! Roar! At this moment, Yen Lang was holding onto a storage ring with both hands, jumping up and down non-stop. His body was trembling as if he was having a seizure, and he was howling like a wild beast. He had completely entered a state of hysteria. Yen Lang, calm down. You are. Xiao Han was speechless. You're already so old, Yet you're still bouncing around here. Immortal pills. This is an immortal pill. A genuine immortal pill. Ah. Master, I boast that I am the most powerful alchemist in countless planes. This I am extremely confident. In terms of true chi cultivation, I am not considered anything, just like a three-legged cat. But in terms of alchemy, I am absolutely the best. To be honest, I am already tired of all kinds of alchemy in the secular world. In the secular world, I am unable to refine a divine medicine that I am satisfied with. Immortal pills I yearn for, even in my dreams I want to see them. But that is still too far away. Immortal pills are so precious. I am just a mere mortal, how could I see immortal pills today? And now, Master actually gave me so many immortal pills of all attributes. This is no different from a Tao-Tai finding delicacies, or a drunkard obtaining fine wine. Now, even if I have to die immediately, I will die without regrets. Yen Lang, who had devoted his whole life to alchemy, was extremely crazy about the way of alchemy. Just now, Xiao Han had brought back all the immortal pills from the Genius Zone and gave them to Yen Lang. These immortal pills were not exchanged with immortal stones by Xiao Han himself. The main reason was that many geniuses were killed and fell out of their storage rings, and Xiao Han took advantage of them. There were thousands of immortal pills, no more, no less. Moreover, there were all kinds of immortal pills of all attributes. Xiao Han gave all the immortal pills to Yen Lang. This made Yen Lang so happy that he almost went crazy on the spot. Alright, don't be happy yet. Xiao Han's face was serious and he directly stared at Yen Lang. Yes, Master, I am too proud of myself. Yen Lang immediately kept quiet out of fear and looked at Xiao Han seriously. Master, what do you want me to do? Immortal pills are indeed precious. Xiao Han said coldly. But, ordinary people cannot enjoy immortal pills. Even if it is only an immortal pill, the energy contained in it is not something ordinary people can withstand. If they consume it, their bodies will explode immediately. Yes, Master, I am very clear about this. Because of the difference in life levels, if ordinary people consume immortal pills, it is no different from suicide by poison. Yen Lang nodded seriously. Even if a pagoda master opens the heavenly eye, at most he can only collect some scattered immortal chi in the mortal world, the quality of which can never be compared to immortal pills. It is also difficult for a pagoda master to consume immortal pills. This is the crux of the problem. Xiao Han stared at Yen Lang. I have given you so many immortal pills, can you use your alchemy skills to make the medicinal properties of these immortal pills be absorbed by the disciples of the Pure Cloud sect? Do you have any ideas? Shockingly, Yen Lang's face was glowing. His eyes were filled with great ambition and confidence. Don't worry, Master. I have 99% confidence that I can neutralize the immortal pills you gave me, refine them, and create a divine medicine that is suitable for the consumption of the Pure Cloud sect. Such a divine medicine, once consumed, will bring great benefits. It can allow all the disciples of the Pure Cloud sect to improve rapidly. I dare not say anything else, but 3 years. In just 3 years, all the disciples of the Pure Cloud sect will have the strength of an ancient authority of the Yaoxia Pagoda. The outstanding ones, such as the sect master, core disciples Fang Ling, Dong Fang Qin, and the eldest core disciple Xiao Mingqiu, will definitely be able to enter the 10th stage of true Qi and open the heavenly eye. And they will be able to create a real half-immortal body. What? Our Pure Cloud sect, including the inner disciples, will have the strength of an ancient authority? Besides, the sect master and the others will be able to open the heavenly eye and create a half-immortal body? Xiao Han said in shock. Master, I have 99% confidence. No, 100% confidence. I can refine close to 10,000 immortal pills and create more than 1,000,000 divine medicines. Everyone in the Pure Cloud sect will have a share. Yen Lang said decisively. Good. Yen Lang. I will leave this matter to you. Remember, keep it a secret and don't spread the news before it is done. As long as you can do it well, I will reward you handsomely. Xiao Han was completely excited. In other words, if there were no accidents, 3 years later, the entire Pure Cloud sect would achieve a terrifying leap. If everything Yen Lang said could be realized, then the strength of the entire Pure Cloud sect would surpass this Plains Monster Hero Tower. At that time, I will also give some divine medicines to Shangguan Wudi, Big Brother Luo Tianyu and the others to help them go against the heavens. Xiao Han left contentedly. Late at night, the red candles were burning high. After Xiao Han took a bath, he laid down on the spacious soft couch. Lan Shirong Jing Yenshua Mo Hen, All of them covered their bodies with light gauze and sat on the edge of the bed. I haven't done that thing with you guys for a long time. Xiao Han smiled ambiguously. Princess Imohen, come here. You still haven't? Today I will officially make you my Xiao Han's woman. P.S. This week we will practice the third subject. I originally thought that I would practice in the city, but I have to go to the suburbs dozens of kilometers away. This is too torturous. Today I will only return home at 9 p.m. I'm a bit tired. Today I will only update one chapter. But fortunately today is already Thursday. This week is over and the exam next week or next week. After the exam I won't have to go through so much trouble. Chapter 533. Life is short. Every moment is worth 1,000 gold. That night, Xiao Han played with the bodies of the three beauties to his heart's content. He vented out all his energy. Princess Imohen had been in love with Xiao Han for a long time. She had waited bitterly for Xiao Han in the great desolate ancient village for many years. Today she finally got what she wanted and was completely occupied by Xiao Han. She completed the complete sacrifice of her soul and body. She had her first time and it was in front of Jing Yanxue and Lan Shirong. This made her feel ashamed and excited. In the end she was teased by Xiao Han again and again. She finally rushed to the 9 heavens and screamed passionately. As for Jing Yanxue and Lan Shirong, they were already addicted to the taste. This time they were even more bold and unrestrained, satisfying many of Xiao Han's special requests. That night, they were infatuated with each other. They played with each other until noon of the second day. The three women collapsed on the bed like mud. Their faces were full of tears. There was a kind of happiness that was derived to the peak and a kind of satisfaction that came after a storm. Their expressions were extremely cute. After they fell asleep, Xiao Han gently covered them with blankets. Only then did he put on his clothes and leave the room in high spirits. Outside the room, a group of beautiful maids who were trimming the flowers blushed when they saw Xiao Han. They wanted to run away, but they couldn't help but steal glances at Xiao Han with their bright eyes. It was extremely seductive. Xiao Han gave them a kind smile which made their bones and legs go soft. There was an indescribable heat between their legs. Just like that, Xiao Han stayed in the mountain range for half a month. During this time, Xiao Han wasn't in a hurry to cultivate. Instead, he brought his women to tour the mountains and rivers every day. At night, they were even more alluring. Occasionally he would chat with Wu Lei, Xiao Mingqiu and the others. They were extremely happy. Half a month later. Mountain Range Hall. Xiao Han was ready to go. Wu Lei, Xiao Mingqiu, Fang Ling and Dong Fangqin were all looking forward to it. Xiao Han, you want to borrow a mental room from the Demon Hero Tower and focus on breaking through. This matter has been reported to the Pagoda Master 10 days ago. We have received his approval. Today let's go to the Demon Hero domain together. Wu Lei said with a smile. Xiao Han, you are now at the peak of the Shen realm. 60 true acupoints. You want to break through the 61st true acupoint. The true qi transformed into a true talisman, increasing the quality of the true qi. Originally, advancing from the 6th stage to the 7th stage of true energy was just a trivial matter. If it were any other martial artist, it would not be worth anticipating at all. But Xiao Han, you are different. You will create a miracle. Ulama's eyes lit up. Xiao Han. When you were in the expanded aperture realm, you expanded your aperture 10 times and accumulated a total of 2,553 times. At that time it shocked the world. When you expand your acupoints, you lay down such a solid foundation. Not only do we not have it in our plane, but in countless other mundane planes as well. It was unlikely that anyone could surpass this result. But now your accumulation is even greater. Your qi has transformed into true talismans. How monstrous would your true talismans reach after 10 baptisms? I don't dare to make wild guesses. I don't even dare to imagine, because of your current life form. No one has the right to evaluate your achievements. Phew. Xiao Han exhaled a mouthful of turbid air. He wasn't a hypocrite and nodded. When I was expanding my acupoints, it was the accumulation I gained from my trip to the Fiend capital. But this time, I broke through to the 7th stage of true energy from the fierce battle in the genius area, the 100 schools contending, and the cruel competition between the geniuses of various planes. The Fiend capital and the genius area are completely different. Now, the countless unopened true acupoints in my body are restless, transmitting the throbbing of my soul. They can break out of their cocoons and transform into butterflies at any time, blossoming new true acupoints with irresistible force. Now what I need to do is find a secluded place and explode my acupoints in one go. The spirit room of the Fiend Pagoda is the best choice. Then let's go. Xiao Mingqiu was also very impatient. The Fiend Pagoda is already prepared to welcome you, Junior Martial Brother Xiao Han. The time to create a miracle has arrived. Junior Martial Brother Xiao Han, let's go immediately. Good. Let's go. Cultivating true energy is the foundation. Only when one's true energy reaches the 10th stage and opens the heavenly eye, along with other accumulation, can one become an immortal. If I want to become an immortal, I have to do it step by step. My true energy cultivation can't be left idle and wasted. Xiao Han, Wu Lei and the others strode out of Xiao Mingqiu Hall. Xiao Han, the 6th stage of true energy is to build the foundation. The 7th stage of true energy is to transform true energy into true talismans. That's your actual combat strength. If you were at the 7th stage of true energy, and the number of times you cleansed the talisman was the same as the number of times you expanded your acupoints, then you wouldn't even need to rely on your physical strength to kill a tower master. Fong Ling analyzed while walking. Xiao Han's plane. The Fiend Hero area. The atmosphere in the Fiend Hero area was blazing. The huge Fiend Hero area seemed especially crowded. It was a sea of people. Millions of Fiend Heroes returned to the Fiend Hero area from all over the plane. This caused the Fiend Hero area to be overcrowded. The Fiend Heroes who had a place on the Fiend Hero ranking had all returned. The ordinary Fiend Heroes who didn't have a ranking had also returned. The young people who had just become Fiend Heroes also hurried to the Fiend Hero area. Ancient giants, as long as they weren't in seclusion, they all returned. The Fiend Hero area had never been so lively. There was no other reason. All of the Fiend Heroes had rushed back to watch the ceremony. To pay homage to Xiao Han's breakthrough to the next realm. After Xiao Han and the others returned from the genius area, Xiao Han's reputation spread like wildfire. There was no such thing as an airtight wall in the world. Xiao Han wasn't the only Fiend Hero who returned from the genius area. The other surviving Fiend Heroes couldn't help but tell their friends about the legendary experience in the genius area. They couldn't help but mention the godlike Xiao Han. In this way, one person spread to 10, 10 to 100, 100 to 1,000. The miracle of Xiao Han in the genius area spread in an extremely short period of time. In just half a month, this matter spread throughout the world through the mouths of millions of people. Moreover, the more it spread, the more godly it became. Now, in the entire plane, martial artists who had a little bit of status all knew about the genius area. They all knew about the countless secular planes, the magical powers of countless geniuses, and the cruel competition between geniuses. They also knew that Xiao Han ruled the world, suppressed the heroes, and killed who knew how many tower masters. This kind of legendary experience caused Xiao Han to be worshipped like a god in the hearts of all the martial artists in this plane. In a short period of time in the secular world, north and south of the Yangtze River. In the 4 regions, countless temples to worship Xiao Han were built in the great wilderness, and the incense was flourishing. Xiao Han's status. He was like the sun in the sky, far surpassing the leader of this plane, the Tower Master. Moreover, Xiao Han's deeds were adapted into popular jokes by many storytellers and spread in the streets and alleys. There were also countless biographies about Xiao Han that appeared one after another. Now Xiao Han was going to break through to the next realm. This was simply a big event that shocked the entire plane. Because everyone knew. Xiao Han would create a result that would make the world look askance and surpass the past and present. Besides, the last time Xiao Han broke through to the expansion point realm, his expansion point multiplier had reached 2,553 times. This was already an unfathomable heaven-defying result. The current Xiao Han. His reputation was even greater. The results of his seclusion this time would definitely far surpass the expansion point realm. This was simply whetting the appetite of all the martial artists in the plane. In front of the Fiend Hero Tower, many stands had been built, and many Fiend Heroes had already taken their seats. In the void, auspicious clouds rolled, and there were many ancient giants. Among them they couldn't help but discuss wantonly. One of the ancient giants wore coarse hemp clothes. His face was simple but his eyes were like the sea. His body was like an abyss, displaying extraordinary combat strength. He was the leader of the ancient giants in this plane, on the Fiend Hero list. The existence ranked first. He was called Boss by all the ancient giants. At this moment, the boss's face was somewhat serious. It's lively, our plane has never been so lively, all because of a heaven-defying youth, Xiao Han. His breakthrough attracted the attention of the entire world, stirring up a storm. An ancient giant with the appearance of a scholar moved his body, and the airflow in the space gathered. This person was the ancient giant that Xiao Han had caused a ruckus in the Fiend Hero Tower, forcing him to come out and stop Xiao Han, and even made a bet with Xiao Han. He was ranked 3rd on the Fiend Hero list. He smiled, "Boss, last time you didn't see Xiao Han break through with your own eyes? That time he displayed the potential of an immortal, expanding his acupoints by 2553 times. This plane's acupoint expansion multiplier was created by this little brother, 95 times. For so many years, no one has been able to surpass it. But this young man Xiao Han, his results are worlds apart from this little brother. Expanding his acupoints by 2553 times, completely at the level of a monster. This time he will definitely shine when he refines the true talisman. Yes, this plane's emergence of such a talent can indeed help the rise of the plane." The boss nodded slightly. However, there are some rumors circulating outside saying that this young man not only defeated countless geniuses from other planes, but also that he can even kill a tower master with a single gaze. Isn't this too exaggerated? Ha ha. Xiao Han is a monster, abnormally tyrannical and unreasonable. However, in this world rumors spread one by one, and in the end, it is inevitable that they will exaggerate and spread false rumors. Killing a tower master with a single gaze, this must be the nonsense of a busybody. The group of ancient powerhouses laughed involuntarily. At this time, just like the time when Xiao Han was breaking through, a flawless white light screen floated in the air outside the Fiend Hero Tower's plaza. This light screen was connected to the spirit house where Xiao Han was breaking through. Through the energy fluctuations, the situation of Xiao Han's breakthrough was reflected on the light screen, allowing the spectators to immediately know the details of Xiao Han's breakthrough. The top floor of the Fiend Hero Tower. The Tower Master and the 12 elders were silent in the secret room filled with rolling smoke. The atmosphere was very strange. After a long while, an elder finally couldn't hold back and carefully said, "Tower Master, today is the day when Xiao Han is breaking through, and all the cultivators in the world are paying attention. Almost all the Fiend Heroes have come to watch the ceremony. Even the secular cultivators who aren't Fiend Heroes have come, who knows how many trillions of them, waiting bitterly outside the Fiend Hero area to witness a miracle. Almost all the ancient powerhouses are outside, preparing to welcome Xiao Han. Should we also put on a show and welcome him? After all, Xiao Han is now very powerful and is like the sun in the sky. If we don't show proper etiquette, I'm afraid we will anger Xiao Han." "Bullshit!" the Tower Master roared. "Are you saying that I should go and flatter Xiao Han? He is breaking through and I have to welcome him?" Chapter 534. The Pagoda Master almost flew into a rage out of humiliation. His eyes were burning with the flames of jealousy. The Pagoda Master naturally knew what was going on outside. He did not feel good in his heart. Now, the love and respect that Xiao Han received far exceeded that of him, the Pagoda Master. At least, there had never been a case where all the martial artists in the world gathered together to worship him. Xiao Han's limelight had already surpassed that of the Pagoda Master, causing him to lose face. As the leader of this plane, I have endured all kinds of hardships and devoted myself to resisting the demon race. However, I have never received such a grand ceremony, and Xiao Han. The Pagoda Master's heart was filled with anger. A villain intoxicated by success. A villain intoxicated by success. The Pagoda Master gritted his teeth, and his eyes were full of resentment. Just because he is breaking through to the next realm, he can't wait to announce it to the world and let everyone worship him. Let everyone come to watch the ceremony? What kind of mentality is this? His cultivation has reached such a level, but he still likes to be in the limelight. His background is not good, never good. A live target is a live target. He doesn't have the demeanor of a great master. A dog can't stop eating *T. This? Pagoda Master, please calm down. It is said that Xiao Han was not the one who announced the news of him breaking through to the next realm. It was the other demon heroes who spread the news. In my opinion, it was not Xiao Han's idea to make such a big scene. An elder mumbled. "Shut up." The Pagoda Master's eyes were cold. All in all, Xiao Han is in the limelight this time. But if he doesn't break through to the next realm, it will be like slapping his own face. At that time, I will see how he will explain it to the martial artists in the world. In addition, I have already lent the best psyche house of the Demon Hero Tower to Xiao Han. I've already done my best. He can forget about me going out to welcome him. Demon Hero Region. At this moment, above the Demon Hero Region, Xiaohan. Wu ***, Xiao Mingqiu Fang Ling Dongfang Qin. The high-level officials of the Pure Water sect finally appeared in front of everyone. Countless demon heroes gathered in the entire Demon Hero Region. At this moment, they suddenly quieted down and raised their eyes to look at Xiaohan, who was flying in the air. Xiaohan was calm and composed. He did not panic at all in front of so many people. There was no nervousness, no pretense at all. His aura was like that of a nobleman who was strolling in his own imperial garden after having his dinner. His eyes were like gems. It was fascinating. Moreover, under the radiance of his immense mental power, Xiaohan unconsciously exuded the aura of an unparalleled expert that ruled over the world. Why are there so many people? Xiaohan saw that there were already so many people gathered in the Devilxia region. Furthermore, they were all outside the Devilxia region. There was also an endless stream of horses and carriages, and there were countless martial artists. He also felt a little curious. Some busybody must have spread the news that you're about to break through to the next realm. Wu Yu laughed involuntarily. Xiaohan shook his head slightly. Forget it. Ignore everything else and focus on breaking through to the 7th stage of True Qi, the realm of talisman transformation. Xiaohan did not stay for long and went straight to the Yaoxiao Pagoda. At this moment, all the cultivators in the plain were stunned by Xiaohan's invisible and terrifying aura. Moreover, under the influence of Xiaohan's mental power, even their thoughts seemed to stop. After Xiaohan entered the area of the Yaoxiao Pagoda, countless Yaoxia came to their senses after a long time. Xiaohan. He's too strong. This aura completely surpasses that of the pagoda master. Especially his eyes, I don't dare to look at them for a long time. When I look into his eyes, I feel like I'm about to be swept into a nightmarish abyss. Yes, in the face of such a monster, even if he looks at me a little, I will directly collapse and fall into the abyss of eternal damnation, let alone fight him. Xiaohan will definitely lead our existential plane to unprecedented glory. Our plane will definitely rise. Luo Tianyu Shengguan Wudi, the heavenly devil old man Big Fatty Zhu. These old friends of Xiaohan were now all shining with that incomparable pride. From the bottom of their hearts, they all felt extremely honored to have a friend like Xiaohan and to have interacted with Xiaohan before. In front of the Yaoxiao Pagoda. Xiaohan walked alone to the Yaoxiao Pagoda. Suddenly, Xiaohan found that someone was scanning him with mental power. Xiaohan's heart stirred and he directly looked over. In front of the Yaoxiao Pagoda, in the middle of the auspicious clouds on the square. Pu, among the ancient giants, the #1 boss, suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood. His entire face was pale and his aura was chaotic. He immediately turned his eyes away and withdrew his mental power. His face showed an incomparably shocked expression. This is Xiaohan. He's indeed peerless and invincible. Just now, when I used mental power to observe him, I was discovered by him, and he directly looked at me and almost caused my divine soul to collapse. His eyes are like a starry sky, a universe. In his eyes, there is an incomparably rich spiritual world, in which there are mountains and rivers, there is a starry sky and there are countless living beings. This Xiaohan was like a great world that was isolated from the world. He can definitely kill me with one look. He's too strong. Now, I finally believe the outside world that Xiaohan can stare to death a pagoda master. Unbelievable. He has the aura of an immortal. Many ancient giants were directly subdued by the aura emitted by Xiaohan's every movement. Go out and welcome him. Quickly go out and welcome him. Boss directly rushed out. Welcome young hero Xiaohan. A group of ancient giants split into 2 rows in front of the Yaoxiao Pagoda and bowed to Xiaohan. Their attitude was extremely respectful. These ancient giants were all arrogant and unruly. Even when facing the elders and pagoda masters, they were on equal footing and would not easily lower their heads in worship. But now, facing Xiaohan, they naturally lowered their prideful heads. They were sincerely convinced. Ancient giants, there's no need to be so polite. Xiaohan smiled casually and then looked at the boss again. I'm sorry. Just now, it was an instinctive backlash from the mental power. It hurt your mental power. Suddenly, a warm mental power directly spread out from Xiaohan's brain and seeped into the boss's sea of consciousness. It made the boss feel as if he was soaking in a hot spring. His limbs and bones felt very comfortable. Moreover, a kind of light of enlightenment appeared on the boss's face. It seemed that a wisp of Xiaohan's mental power caused him to suddenly have an epiphany. Some of the bottlenecks in the cultivation of true qi actually showed signs of breaking through. The boss was shaken to the core. On the path of true chi cultivation, the answers that he could not obtain for a long time immediately came to him the moment Xiao Han released his mental power. Crack crack. Suddenly, the boss's body emitted a sound that sounded like an eggshell being peeled off. His entire body glowed with new vitality as if he had been reborn. At this moment, boom! A thick immortal energy burst forth from the space between the boss' brows. At the boss's forehead, a crack appeared. A crack appeared and a heaven's eye appeared. At this moment, the boss's temperament changed greatly. His black hair fluttered in the wind. His eyebrows were like swords and his eyes looked up at the sky. Ah! How many years has it been? For so many years, I've been stuck at the 100th true meridian, unable to break through the 101st true meridian and open the heaven's eye. But today, I broke through. I opened the heaven's eye. I've also become a half immortal. The boss laughed wildly. In the heaven's eye between his brows, an immortal aura floated as if another world had appeared. In this world, countless immortal spirits danced. One look actually made the boss open the heaven's eye. The ancient powerhouses beside him all screamed in horror. Cultivating true chi. Opening 100 true meridian and 101 true meridian seemed to only differ by one acupoint, but the difference between the two was like heaven and earth. Opening 100 true meridian in the whole body. That was only the peak of true chi martial artists. And opening 101 true meridian meant that one was a half immortal. 101 true meridian meant that one was qualified to ascend to the immortal realm. 101 true meridian meant that one was called the pagoda master level. Opening 101 true meridian was too difficult. The difference between 100 and 101 was like the distance between heaven and man. In Xiao Han's realm, only one pagoda master had opened 101 true meridian and opened the heaven's eye, a half immortal. And now, another half immortal had appeared. Xiao Han. Thank you. Tan Heng will never forget this kindness. The boss suddenly knelt down toward Xiao Han. His eyes were filled with tears. A wisp of Xiao Han's psychic fluctuation had caused his life level to change. Don't thank me. In fact, it's because your accumulation is enough. You just need an opportunity. I only stimulated your soul. If your foundation is not enough, there's nothing I can do. Xiao Han smiled faintly and then entered the Yaoxiao pagoda without looking back. All the Yaoxiao warriors in the Yaoxiao domain saw this scene with their own eyes. Directly promoting an ancient powerhouse to the pagoda master level? If this was not the means of an immortal, then what was it? All of a sudden, the densely packed Yaoxiao knelt to the ground in front of Xiao Han's back. That kind of madness and blind worship was deduced to the peak. On the top floor of the Yaoxiao pagoda. All the Yaoxiao outside are kneeling. The pagoda master's mind energy waves were also paying attention to the situation outside. They are kneeling to Xiao Han. They really think that Xiao Han is, what? Xiao Han directly made Tan Heng, the number one among the ancient powerhouses, open his heaven's eye and advance to the pagoda master level? The pagoda master's eyes were wide open, and his throat made gurgling sounds. Yaoxiao pagoda. Level 429. The Yaoxiao Elaine, who was in charge of the House of Intellect, respectfully sent Xiao Han into the House of Intellect of the highest quality in this realm. This was the House of Intellect that could increase one's spiritual touch by 300 times. There was only one in the entire realm, and it was discovered by an ancient pagoda master in a relic. Generally speaking, in this realm, only the previous pagoda masters had the right to use this House of Intellect. Moreover, the energy of this House of Intellect was almost depleted. Xiao Han, I wish you a better result than the Acupoint Expansion realm. This House of Intellect that can increase one's spiritual touch by 300 times can still be used for 3 more months. It should be enough for you to cultivate. Elaine smiled. 3 months? That should be enough. I think I have accumulated enough. Now it's time to concentrate on exploding my acupoints. I wonder what realm I can reach. Xiao Han nodded and smiled at Elaine in a friendly manner. Then he walked into the House of Intellect. After Xiao Han entered the House of Intellect, Elaine almost collapsed. She stuck out her tongue. What a powerful mental strength. Just talking to him at such a close distance is already very taxing for me. Invisibly, he can emit a kind of mental pressure. Too strong? How can there be such a powerful person? Moreover, he's not even 100 years old. Outside the Yaoxiao Tower. Now, all the Yaoxiao warriors were staring motionlessly at a light screen suspended in the air. This light screen could immediately reflect Xiao Han's cultivation situation in the House of Intellect. He's entered the House of Intellect. Xiao Han is about to break through to the next realm. An ancient powerhouse exclaimed. Chapter 535. Under the watchful eyes of everyone, all the heroes and martial artists of the entire plane raised their heads in anticipation, ready to witness a heaven-defying miracle. Xiao Han finally calmly entered the Spirit House, the highest quality spirit house in the Demon Warrior Pagoda of this plane. Xiao Han sat cross-legged in the Spirit House. Dazzling talismans flew around the Spirit House like snowflakes. These elegant spirit patterns silently seeped into Xiao Han's sea of consciousness. Like a sweet, clear spring, they cleansed Xiao Han's spiritual star and purified his soul, making Xiao Han's spirit, energy, and spirit more condensed and focused. The Spirit House was the most suitable place for cultivation. The spirit patterns that filled the Spirit House had the effect of bathing one's spirit, making one's mind free of distractions. It was the best place to break through to the next realm. Xiao Han's spirit and soul were already abnormally strong. He was almost invincible among the mortals of the countless ordinary planes. He surpassed most of the Tower Masters. Now in the Spirit House he was in the best state. He held his breath, concentrated his spirit, and made his mind flawless. He was in the celestial realm. The commotion outside and the attention of trillions of martial artists had nothing to do with Xiao Han. He had entered the inner world of himself and nothing else mattered. Silence. Xiao Han's mind was extremely quiet. In his mind, scenes slowly appeared one by one. Bit by bit, he slowly organized his thoughts. There was the scene of Xiao Han leaving the demon metropolis. He was in a panic and was enlightened by an immortal. There was the scene of the demon god's soul residing in his heart. There was the despair and final awakening of his life. There was the scene of encountering powerful people from other planes before entering the genius zone. He dealt with them. Finally, with the help of the hallucinatory demon palace, he killed all the higher-ups of this plane. There were all kinds of life-and-death adventures in the genius zone. There were scenes of him fighting Li Xiaotian, Kid, Naga, and other peerless geniuses in the arena. Many scenes came one after another. This caused Xiao Han to look back again. Every time Xiao Han looked back at a scene, his mind became even more solid and perfect. Strange. After entering the Spirit House, Xiao Han did not immediately break through to the next realm. Instead he was reminiscing. Moreover, what was even stranger was that every memory was able to awaken an indescribable thing within Xiao Han's body. Every memory was a trace of accumulation. Xiao Han sorting through these memories was no different from purifying and accumulating them. After an unknown period of time, boom, 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 boom. Xiao Han's entire body surged. His fleshy body began to surge. His soul spirit began to surge. A spiritual halo that was as dazzling as the light of the ancient gods shrouded the area. All 60 meridians in Xiao Han's body emitted a trembling sound. Very quickly it began to rumble. It was extremely magical. Furthermore, it was the 61st true meridian. It was already humming lightly. It was as if a new life was about to break out of its cocoon. Wait a little longer. Recall again. Don't rush to open the 61st acupoint. In the past few days I've gained a lot of precious accumulations. Tempering myself through life and death situations, mountains of corpses and seas of bones. Too huge. I have to slowly digest it and refine it bit by bit. Don't be anxious. The first step is extremely crucial to turning Jinqi into true talismans. At the 61st acupoint, I must develop the memories to the most intense and splendid moment before I can erupt. Once it erupts, he would reach the peak, create true glory. Xiao Han had been suppressing, condensing, and compressing. Cultivation knows no time. Unbeknownst to Xiao Han, he had been in seclusion in the spirit chamber for 7 days and 7 nights. Meanwhile, in the square outside the Yaoxiao Pagoda, the densely packed human heads were silent. The chivalrous heroes floating in the void were also as silent as cicadas in winter. Even the hundreds of millions of martial artists gathered outside the chivalrous domain. Not a single sound could be heard. The vast Yaoxia domain was surprisingly quiet. Everyone's eyes were focused on the white and flawless light screen floating in the void outside the Yaoxiao Pagoda. This screen was connected to Xiao Han's house of mind, where he was in seclusion. It could immediately reflect Xiao Han's cultivation situation. However, from the day Xiao Han entered the secret spirit chamber of the Yaoxiao Pagoda, this light screen had not changed at all. Not a single trace of energy fluctuation was transmitted. Still water without ripples. Xiao Han had already been inside for 7 days and 7 nights. Sect Master, something is not right. In the square in front of the Yaoxia Pagoda, Fang Ling finally could not bear it and sent a telepathic message to Wu Bai. Xiao Han has been in seclusion for 7 days and 7 nights, but there is no fluctuation in his realm. If Xiao Han had broken through the 61st true acupoint and successfully advanced to the talisman transformation realm, then this white light screen would have produced a strong energy fluctuation and let us outside know. But there is no movement now, which means that Xiao Han has not broken through the 61st true acupoint as scheduled. Indeed, he has not successfully advanced to the talisman transformation realm. Wu Bai also communicated with some disciples of his sect through telepathic messages. No, that's not right. Based on the Jinshi that Junior Han usually shows, it should be a piece of cake for him to open the 61st acupoint. As soon as he enters the House of Vigor, he should be able to break through immediately. But now it has been 7 days and there's no reaction at all. Could it be that he's stuck? Could it be? Dong Fangqin was also shocked. Let's wait and see. Xiao Mingqiu was slightly stunned. I really don't believe that junior brother Xiao Han could not be stuck at the 7th stage of True Qi. The 10th day. Time passed by bit. Now it had been 10 days since Xiao Han went into seclusion. The white light screen was like a pool of stagnant water. This showed that Xiao Han's cultivation had not improved at all. At this moment, many chivalrous heroes and martial artists who admired and supported Xiao Han could not help but feel anxious and depressed. The entire Yaoxia domain was filled with soul voice transmissions. No way? Originally, we were in high spirits and traveled thousands of miles back to the Yaoxia region to watch the ceremony. We wanted to witness the peerless demon Xiao Han create an unprecedented and glorious history. When he was breaking through to the 7th stage of True Qi, he refined the true talisman to a terrifying level. But 10 days have passed quietly. With Xiao Han's combat strength, he could instantly kill a tower master. It should not be that difficult to break through the 61st true acupoint, right? Looking at the current situation, he has not been able to break through the 61st true acupoint. It seems that he has fallen into a bottleneck. Yes, this situation means that he is stuck. In terms of cultivation, he has entered a relatively difficult situation. Alas, almost all the martial artists in our plane have come to the Yaoxia region, and most of them have come from the remote depths of the vast wilderness. But it seems a little disappointing. Alas, I have already regarded Xiao Han as my lifelong idol. This time I came to the Yaoxia region with the mentality of a pilgrimage, but I did not expect that it would be like this. This is called the greater the hope, the greater the disappointment. Now, most of the Yaoxia and martial artists who were watching the ceremony were very disappointed. After all, Xiao Han had brought them hope and hope for the prosperity of their plane. But now Xiao Han's breakthrough to the 7th stage of True Qi was blocked. This made this hope gradually become a little uncertain. Those Yaoxia and martial artists who held the idea that Xiao Han's prosperity is the prosperity of the plane, felt as if their hearts had been overturned, and they were not feeling good. Of course, there were also some Yaoxia who were more pessimistic and were now fuming with anger. They began to criticize Xiao Han in their hearts, making up stories about Xiao Han. Meanwhile, the leader of the ancient giants who had been enlightened by Xiao Han and reached the half-immortal realm was now sweating for Xiao Han. In his heart, he was also praying that Xiao Han could get through this as soon as possible. On the top floor of the Yaoxia Pagoda. Ha! Wah! The pagoda master burst into ecstatic laughter and his face was glowing. Slapping his face. Ah! Slapping his own face. Xiao Han, this guy, is slapping his own face now. Ah! This kid is very high profile and insufferably arrogant in breaking through to the 7th stage of True Qi. He gathered all the martial artists in the world and almost all the Yaoxia to come to watch the ceremony. He wants to create a peerless miracle, establish his position as the leader of this plane in one fell swoop and replace me. His idea was very perfect and it set off the atmosphere to the extreme. However, his breakthrough to the next stage was blocked. A full 10 days had passed and he was cultivating in the spirit house of the highest quality in this plane, but he still could not break through the 61st acupoint. He was stuck. Ah! If he had quietly broken through to the next stage, it would have been fine if he was stuck, and he would not have been so humiliated. But now, in front of so many martial artists, he had made such a big embarrassment, and the prestige he had painstakingly built up was greatly reduced. He had lost all face. It's a complete loss of face. The pagoda master was simply beside himself with joy. "Pagoda master, it seems that Xiao Han is indeed stuck," an elder said with a happy expression. "It seems that this matter is extremely strange. With Xiao Han's ability he should be able to break through to the 7th stage of true qi. But if you think about it carefully, it is unexpected but reasonable. Xiao Han's soul was strong, and his body was invincible. This had already allowed him to occupy the right time, place and people, and had all the opportunities. Nothing in this world was perfect. There would always be flaws, and this was an irrefutable truth. In other words, Xiao Han was invincible in terms of soul and body, but in terms of true qi realm, he would definitely be restricted. This was fate. The god of fate could not possibly give Xiao Han 3 paths to defy the heavens at the same time. The soul is strong, the body is strong, and the true qi is weak. This is in accordance with the laws of nature. Pagoda master, in this way Xiao Han will not be able to threaten your position. Xiao Han's combat power is fierce, but in terms of true qi realm he is too weak. True qi is the way of the king. Without reaching the 10th stage of true qi realm, there is no chance of becoming an immortal. His combat power is strong, but he is an unconventional sword. If he does not increase his true qi realm in the end, it will all be for naught. In other words, he can only show off in the secular world, but he will never be able to become an immortal. His long-term development will be restricted. There's no way someone like him could become the ruler of a plane, one of the elders said shamelessly. Ah. When Xiao Han comes out of seclusion, we will also go and comfort him so that he will not be discouraged because his true qi realm is trash. Ha ha ha. The pagoda master's tightly furrowed brows finally relaxed, and a knowing smile blossomed on his face. Chapter 536. Xiao Han was in the house of mind. Xiao Han was like a statue, motionless. At this time the crazy memories were still like a trickle pouring in. They flowed through Xiao Han's mind and sea of consciousness. Xiao Han's mind was like a sponge, absorbing these memories that belonged to him, combing through these memories. These memories, every detail were great. They were all heaven-defying. For example, Xiao Han's battle with Naga on the arena, every scene was repeatedly played in Xiao Han's mind. This kind of memory of defeating the number 1 genius in the universe was very rare. Another example, after Xiao Han left the genius zone, he swept through everything. This memory was heaven-defying enough, it needed a long time to look back. I have probably been in seclusion for a long time. Xiao Han knew in his heart. Xiao Han spent too much time sorting through these memories. Logically speaking, with Xiao Han's mental strength to recall certain memories of his life, he only needed a thought, and the past would be vivid in his mind. It should not have taken such a long time. But these memories were too extraordinary. In this world, the majority of mortals in this life would not be able to have memories like Xiao Han. They summed up their lives, perhaps in a very short period of time, it could be concluded. But these memories of Xiao Han, they had experienced countless reincarnations, they would not be able to have them. It could even be said that if a tower master suddenly had Xiao Han's memories, his mind would instantly explode. This was because his foundation was not enough. It was not enough to bear these memories. Xiao Han only spent 10 days and he almost finished combing through these extraordinary memories. In fact, it was already very monstrous. Finally, it's done. All the memories all sorted out. I, Xiao Han, have finally reached the most glorious, the most intense moment in my life. My mind was completely flawless, it had entered a realm that could not be worn down by 10,000 tribulations. Then, impact. Open the 61st true meridian for me. Xiao Han abruptly opened his eyes, and an ancient divine light shot out from his eyes. Boom! At the position of Xiao Han's 61st true meridian, the wind and clouds suddenly surged, a vortex containing a violent hurricane erupted. Rumble, rumble, rumble. All the true energy in Xiao Han's body rushed out. It condensed into a divine light beam. It directly pierced the 61st acupoint. At the same time, all sorts of unbelievable phenomena appeared around Xiao Han's body. A bright moon rose from Xiao Han's back. From time to time, a magnificent ocean would appear above Xiao Han's head. There was also the phantom of heaven. Amidst all sorts of strange phenomena, Xiao Han's 61st acupoint finally exploded. Hong! A loud noise shook the entire Yaoxia pagoda. Outside the Yaoxia region, Xiao Han had been in seclusion for 15 days. In these 15 days, there was only dead silence on the white wall. Xiao Han had been in seclusion for 15 days, but his Zhenqi cultivation had not broken through at all. None of the spectators in the Yaoxia region had expected such a result. Disappointment. Disappointment. Dejected. Many of the spectators were ready to leave the Yaoxia region. I came in high spirits and returned in disappointment. We've been waiting here for half a month, but Xiao Han did not bring us any amazing performance. Sigh, maybe we're asking too much of him. I've heard that even though Xiao Han's battle prowess is heaven-defying, his true energy cultivation has always been his weakness. Before he went into seclusion, he was only at the 6th stage of true energy. This kind of true energy realm is not considered high even in our plane. Xiao Han performed extremely perfectly when he was at the 6th level of Zhenqi, expanding his acupoints by more than 2,000 times. But everyone knows that expanding acupoints is only to build a foundation, not to improve combat power. If his Zhenqi can't turn into Zhenqi talismans, it's all for naught. I'm curious. His acupoints are so perfect. Logically speaking, turning Zhenqi into Zhenqi talismans should be a matter of course. Why is Xiao Han stuck in a bottleneck? As for the Cloud sect, the small team led by Wuxia, they all felt that it was unbelievable and even absurd. Strange. How is this possible? Junior brother Xiao Han should be able to break through to the Zhenqi realm easily. But he seems to be trapped. Dong Fangqin shook his head. At this moment, Xiao Mingchu's pupils shrank slightly as he pouted. After waiting for half a month, some of the Yao heroes who came to watch the ceremony have already left resentfully. This situation will affect junior brother Xiao Han's position in this world in the future. This doesn't matter. Wu Shu pondered deeply. There must be a special reason why Xiao Han failed to break through to the next realm. However, Xiao Han's vision is very far-sighted. He doesn't care about a mere secular world. There's no need to care about the vision of a secular martial artist. At the highest level of the Yaoxia pagoda, the pagoda master stood leaning against the railing. Through the window, he looked out of the Yaoxia pagoda at the white light screen that was suspended in the void. It's been half a month. There's still no movement. The corner of the pagoda master's mouth revealed a mocking smile. I'm almost certain that Xiao Han failed to break through to the next realm. He failed? It's impossible for everything to go as he wishes. The ancient giant Yan Qi also appeared in the secret room at the highest level of the Yaoxia pagoda. He also had a mocking expression on his face. This time Xiao Han, this fellow, has lost all face. The entire plane knows that the true energy he cultivates is trash. However, at this moment, Hong, the entire Yaoxia pagoda shook violently. It was as if an apocalyptic natural disaster had descended. Even the Yaoxia pagoda, which was said to be indestructible, started to shake. It felt like it was about to collapse. Peng, 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 the pagoda master, the elders, Yan Qi, and the others were caught off guard and fell to the ground. All of them fell to the ground. What's going on? Is it an enemy attack? The pagoda master cried out in alarm. Outside the Yaoxia pagoda. Rumble, rumble, boom. The monster hero pagoda swayed. Vibrate. Bumpy. A loud noise was heard. This made all the chivalrous warriors who were standing in the chivalrous hero region, as well as those who were about to leave, scream in horror. A boundless panic began to spread unrestrainedly. The Yaoxia pagoda was a landmark building in the mortal plane. It was also a symbol of the rise and fall of the human race. It was also the dignity that countless chivalrous warriors had sacrificed their lives to protect. In Xiao Han's plane, the Yaoxia pagoda had been standing tall since ancient times. It had never even caused any disturbance, which gave all the human beings in this plane a sense of security. At this moment, the Yaoxia pagoda was shaking violently as if it was about to collapse. This made all the chivalrous warriors in this plane tremble in fear. However, just when the situation was about to get out of control, the white wall that had not moved for half a month finally changed. Boom, 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 boom. On the white wall of light, there was a sudden surging sound like a tidal wave erupting. The next moment, thousands of auspicious auras and tens of thousands of rays of light shot out from the white wall. All kinds of strange phenomena appeared, and it was a spectacular sight. In fact, there were even waves of immortal qi that were not to be blasphemed spreading from the white wall in all directions. Divine music lingered in the air. What a great momentum! Majestic, magnificent, supreme and supreme. King of the world. There's movement. There's movement in Xiao Han's cultivation. It was no longer as calm as still water, but violent fluctuations. This fluctuation is too strong. It has the power to shatter the plane. That's right. The demon hero pagoda is shaking, It's probably caused by Xiaohan's cultivation. One of the ancient giants yelled with a voice like a bell. In an instant, the chaos in the Yaoxia region was brought under control. Every chivalrous warrior seemed to have understood something. All of them looked at the white wall. We've waited for a long time. Finally, there's a fluctuation in Xiaohan's cultivation. Every chivalrous warrior's heart trembled. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, the white wall's light screen changed once again. In the white wall, all the strange phenomena, all the auras and all the energy vortexes began to shrink and condense. Finally, on the white wall, a golden sphere appeared. This golden sphere was shining brightly. It slowly rose up from the white wall and rotated. A pressure that was as deep as the sea was suddenly released. Bang, 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 bang. Under this invisible pressure, the countless chivalrous warriors in the square outside the Yaoxia pagoda suddenly leaned back, and some were even sent flying. This invisible pressure made the countless chivalrous warriors in the Yaoxia region suffocate. The true chi in their bodies was boiling and they finally calmed down. He's going to start turning true chi into true talismans. All the true chi in his body condensed into a golden core, released the pressure of true chi and then turned into a natal talisman. Xiaohan is going to succeed. In the square, countless chivalrous warriors roared and let out heart-wrenching voices. The white wall is emitting such a powerful force. Xiaohan's true chi into true talismans must be incredible. At this moment, puff, puff, puff. The golden sphere within the white wall of light suddenly dispersed. It turned into rays of red light and jade talismans that seemed to have substance. With the Yaoxia pagoda as the center, a majestic and heavy pressure enveloped the area within a radius of hundreds of thousands of miles. Boom, 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 the ground cracked. Fine and dense cracks appeared on the space crystal wall. In the blink of an eye, countless rays of light and talismans on the white wall's light screen combined and fused at an extremely fast speed, suddenly forming a talisman. Xiaohan's natal talisman. This talisman was extremely gorgeous, exquisite, and magnificent, surrounded by countless stars. Even though this talisman only appeared slightly in the white wall, it was powerful. Almost the entire Yaoxia region was shaking, and the Yaoxia pagoda was about to collapse. It seemed that this plane could not bear the power of this talisman and was about to collapse. The lines on this natal talisman contained the heavenly Tao, as if all the mysteries in the world, including the essence of the sun, moon, wind, water, fire, thunder, and clouds were contained in it. It's done? Junior brother Xiaohan has finally succeeded. He has broken through the 61st true acupoint. It's too terrifying. The pressure contained in this natal talisman is enough to shatter countless planets and planes. Junior brother Xiaohan has been brewing for a full 15 days and he finally broke out. This heaven-defying potential is comparable to that of an immortal. Xiao Mingqiu roared at the top of his lungs. The entire Yaoxia region was densely packed with chivalrous warriors, and they knelt in front of the natal talisman in the white wall. They were like the most devout believers worshipping the greatest god. To be continued. Chapter 537. Xiaohan had finally broken through to the true energy realm. He had broken through to the true energy realm from the 6th stage expanded acupoint realm. He had opened the 61st true acupoint. Xiaohan had been silently brewing for a full 15 days. Just as countless spectators were feeling disheartened and disappointed, Xiaohan exploded in one fell swoop. He had shocked the world with a single brilliant feat. When other martial artists condensed their true energy into true talismans, they did not cause much of a commotion. After all, the talisman transformation realm was not an impressive realm. However, Xiaohan's breakthrough was like a raging storm. All sorts of strange phenomena appeared, and flowers fell from the sky. In fact, the tremors caused by Xiaohan's breakthrough almost destroyed the Yanxia pagoda. Even the vast Yanxia domain, as well as the area tens of thousands of miles around, shook violently, as if a divine punishment had descended from the heavens. The tremors caused countless spectators to keep quiet out of fear. They were so frightened that they did not dare to speak. Even their thoughts paused slightly. Everyone was suffocating. After all, even if one succeeded in breaking through to True Energy Realm 10, the tremors would not be as fierce and intense as Xiaohan's breakthrough to True Energy Realm 7. If he did not say it, everyone would definitely think that Xiaohan was breaking through to the immortal realm. Now all the spectators were rooted to the ground, unable to move. Their eyes stared unblinkingly at the expanding and wriggling white wall light screen in the void. On the white wall light screen, a natal talisman condensed and appeared. This life talisman blossomed with a divine radiance rarely seen throughout the ages. It glistened brilliantly and it had a jade-like warmth. However, the pressure it emitted could collapse mountains, fill the seas, and kill ghosts and gods. Moreover, Xiaohan's natal talisman was huge. From the white wall light screen, Xiaohan's natal talisman was at least hundreds of feet long and wide. That was terrifying. It should be known that for any martial artist who cultivated genuine qi, the larger, longer, and wider the life talisman was, the stronger the power of the genuine qi contained in the talisman. In Xiaohan's realm, the natal talismans of ordinary ancient giants were only a few dozen feet long and wide. For example, after 10 rounds of refining, the size of the talismans wouldn't be larger than Xiaohan's life talisman. After reaching the talisman-shaping realm, one would be able to condense one's jinqi into a talisman. The jinqi in one's acupoints would gush out and condense into a destiny talisman. After that, every time he unlocked one acupoint from the 61st to the 70th acupoint, he would have a total of 10 chances to cleanse the natal talisman. Every cleansing was to remove the impurities in the talisman. After each cleansing, the size of the natal talisman would increase correspondingly. The power and quality of the natal talisman would also increase correspondingly. Of course, every martial artist's situation was different. After every martial artist reached the talisman transformation realm, every time they opened a true acupuncture point, the number of cleansing true talismans obtained would be different. But without a doubt, the higher the number of cleansing true talismans, the greater the potential. The principle of cleansing a destiny talisman was the same as the expansion of acupoints in the acupoint expansion realm. For example, the ancient giant Shengguan Wudi that Xiaohan had once befriended, after he reached the talisman-shaping realm, he unlocked the 61st to 70th acupoint and obtained 10 chances to cleanse his destiny talisman. When he unlocked the 61st acupoint and condensed his destiny talisman for the first time, he achieved the result of cleansing his destiny talisman 13 times. This was not a trivial result. Simply put, it increased the quality of his destiny talisman and natal talisman by 13 times. After 10 rounds, Shengguan Wudi had accumulated to cleanse his destiny talisman 81 times. This meant that the strength of his natal talisman had increased by 81 times. If the number of times Shengguan Wudi had cleansed his natal talismans in 10 rounds was applied to Xiaohan, then, when Xiaohan had expanded his meridians by 2,553 times, the total amount of true energy in his body had reached 150 million cauldrons. If Shengguan Wudi had cleansed and tempered his natal talismans 81 times, then Xiaohan's natal talisman could unleash the power of 10 to 20 billion cauldrons at its peak. However, the size of the initial destiny talisman that Xiaohan had condensed was far larger than Shengguan Wudi's initial destiny talisman. Therefore, the potential of Xiaohan's destiny talisman was definitely higher than Shengguan Wudi's. As for how many times Xiaohan could cleanse his destiny talisman, it was a question now. Gradually, the white light screen flashed with wrinkles and ripples that looked like water mist began to move on Xiaohan's destiny talisman rhythmically, giving off a ding-dong-dong sound. This indicated that Xiaohan's destiny talisman was about to undergo its first cleansing after a short period of preparation. It's time to cleanse the destiny talisman. The demon warriors who were watching the ceremony finally could not hold it in anymore. Almost all of them clenched their fists tightly, their faces flushed, and their throats burst out with a roar. I wonder how many times the true talisman can be cleansed in the first round of cleansing. But look at Xiaohan's destiny talisman. It's actually a few hundred meters long and wide. Its aura seems to be able to shatter the demon hero pagoda. Its quality is unbelievably high. Xiaohan will definitely create another miracle. I'm definitely optimistic about Xiaohan's first round of cleansing his destiny talisman. I just don't know how heaven-defying it will be. More than 100 times of cleansing? No, it can't be. It's just the opening of the 61st acupoint, and the first round of cleansing is already more than 100 times of cleansing. Isn't this too abnormal? It's said that in our plane, the highest number of cleansing of destiny talisman during the talisman transformation realm is 10 rounds, and it has accumulated more than 100 times of cleansing. How can Xiaohan be compared to ordinary martial artists? He is the ruler of the world, a great figure who has dominated the past and present. He is destined to lead our entire plane to prosperity. He will create a miracle that will make us dumbfounded. Yes. Didn't Xiao Han create a world-shocking miracle when he was in the opening acupoint expansion realm? This cleansing of destiny talisman will definitely be the best. Let's not talk about anything else. If the number of times Xiao Han's life talisman can be as many as the number of times he is expanding his meridian points, reaching 2,000 times or more, then his life talisman will be powerful enough to sweep away an army of 1,000. In this way the people's hearts, which had been somewhat scattered, were reunited. The enthusiasm and hope of the spectators were stirred to a new height. One by one they all stared at the white wall light curtain, unwilling to move their eyes even half an inch. Lord, what do you think? Dongfang Qin looked at Wu Li with dry lips. I've never seen such a big destiny talisman before. Moreover, this is the initial destiny talisman that hasn't been cleansed once. Junior brother Xiao Han's potential is so great that he won't lose to a real immortal. Was also very excited. This life-bound talisman radiates boundless light and heat, as well as the light of the stars, Meng Hao said. The original life-bound talisman I created was only 15 meters long and wide. It had a lot of impurities and its color wasn't pure. Compared to Xiao Han's natal talisman, it's like comparing a firefly to the moon. I don't dare to recklessly evaluate Xiao Han's potential and final results. On the top floor of the Yaoxiao Pagoda. Damn it. The pagoda master's face was deathly pale. He crawled up from the ground and steadied himself. He looked at the white light screen outside the window and saw the life talisman that Xiao Han had created. In the end this kid still succeeded. Damn it. A villain intoxicated by success. The quality and size of the life talisman that this fellow created far surpasses this seed in the past. What a monster. What a beast. Why did our plane give birth to such a monster? The atmosphere is too huge. Many of the elders were petrified. Wait and see. Maybe it's all bark and no bite. Yan Qi stuttered. Get out. The pagoda master stared at Yan Qi fiercely. Such a big life talisman, are you blind? Now Xiao Han's rise is unstoppable. You're lying to others and deceiving yourself. You're annoying. Get lost. The pagoda master was filled with anger. He had nowhere to vent it, so he sent a palm strike at Yan Qi, causing him to vomit blood and retreat. The white light screen floated in the void. Tens of thousands of people were paying attention to it. At this moment, waves of starlight and clear immortal qi washed over Xiao Han's life talisman within the white light screen, producing a loud sound that sounded like a rolling tide. Po, 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 po. Countless impurities peeled off from Xiao Han's life talisman and were washed away into nothingness. Xiao Han's life talisman became brighter and brighter as it was washed away. It became even bigger. The first wash. Then. Hua. Layers and layers of energy aura like waves, continuously washed over Xiao Han's life talisman. The number of washes was increasing. Faster and faster. The quality of Xiao Han's life talisman was also increasing steadily. Every demon warrior watching the ceremony was counting in their hearts. 1, 2, 20, 100, 300, 500. In less than 100 breaths' time, Xiao Han's natal talisman had been refined and cleansed more than 500 times. Moreover, the speed at which the divine light washed the life talisman was getting faster and more frequent. Not only did it not show any signs of weakening, but it was also continuous and full of energy. It has already exceeded 600 times. Oh my God. It's only the first round of washing, and now it has exceeded 600 times. The quality of the life talisman has increased by 600 times. A peerless demon, unparalleled in the world. There was an uproar in the square. The sound of people sucking in a breath of cold air and screams of horror rose and fell. It was a mess. However, all the sounds quickly subsided and was replaced by dead silence, because on the white wall, the divine light was still washing faster and faster. All the spectators did not have time to exclaim and continued counting. Everyone's mouths were agape. 1,000, 1,300, 1,500, 2,000, 2,400. With each wash, Xiao Han's life talisman continued to expand. Now it was more than 10,000 feet long and wide, covering the sky. With a slight vibration, the mountains and rivers turned into powder, the sun and the moon turned into ashes. Moreover, there was a mysterious immortal aura on this life talisman. As it rotated slightly, waves of ancient sounds came from the void, like the morning bell, like the evening drum, cleansing people's souls. The life talisman's talisman also emitted a dazzling light, as if it was illuminating the starry sky of the universe. After an unknown period of time, all the energy fluctuations on the white wall finally stopped. The natal talisman that covered the sky and covered the sun was finally no longer cleansed. Xiao Han broke through the 61st acupoint, and the first round of washing of the life talisman was finally over. Finally, in this round of washing, his life talisman reached an extremely abnormal 3,000 times. No one had ever done it before, and no one would be able to do it in the future. The best in the world. To be continued. Chapter 538. Xiao Han was absolutely heaven-defying. After he successfully broke through to the talisman transformation realm, all the true qi in his body condensed into a natal talisman. In the first round of cleansing, he completed a total of 3,000 cleansing, causing the quality of his true qi and natal talisman to increase by 3,000 times. This result was so monstrous that it was hard to describe it with words. In all the ordinary planes in the universe, it was almost impossible for mortals to achieve what Xiao Han had achieved by cultivating true qi. When Xiao Han was in the expanding acupoint state, he accumulated a multiplier of 2,553 times for 10 times. In other planes there were some geniuses who could compete with Xiao Han. However, when Xiao Han first cleansed his natal talisman and achieved a total of 3,000 cleansing, there was absolutely no one in the mortal world who could do that. He was absolutely invincible and no one could catch up to him. This shocking achievement would not appear in the mortal world. It could only appear in the immortal world. The natal talisman in the white light screen became brighter and brighter, more and more majestic and more magnificent. The pressure continued to skyrocket. As a result, some of the aura released from the white wall light curtain completely suppressed the countless chivalrous men in the entire chivalrous man region, making them unable to move at all. The natural qi in their true acupoints seemed to be in a precarious situation, as if it could be shaken away at any time. This was only the natal talisman in the white light screen. Once Xiao Han's natal talisman really appeared, it would definitely shock a large group of heroes to death on the spot. This kind of shock, this kind of amazement, and this kind of miracle were not what any of the heroes who came to watch the ceremony had expected. Even the people of the Pure Cloud sect, who had always supported Xiao Han unconditionally, had never expected Xiao Han's achievement to reach such a level. Now everyone's mind was blank and they were at a loss. The scene was silent. Not long after, Xiao Han's natal talisman in the white light screen rippled again, and strands of immortal qi were brewing, ready for another round of cleansing. Xiao Han is going to break through the 62nd true acupoint. Once he succeeds, he will undergo the second round of cleansing of the natal talisman. The first round will be 3,000 cleansing. The second round will be even more heaven-defying. Immortal. This time I've finally seen a genius who is no less than an immortal. My life has not been in vain. Xiao Han is a true god monarch of our realm. It has brought hope to our weak existential plane. The fiendish heroes had already knelt down in the direction of Xiao Han's seclusion in the fiendish hero pagoda. Their faces were filled with crazed worship. Junior brother Xiao Han has started to break through the 62nd acupoint in one go. Xiao Mingchu said excitedly. Sect Lord, look at junior brother Xiao Han's potential. Mortals don't have such talent. It seemed that junior brother Xiao Han would soon become an immortal. The first round of tempering of the true life talisman had already reached 3,000 times. After 10 rounds of tempering, he would most likely accumulate tens of thousands of tempering true life talismans. What kind of life talisman would he create then? It was unimaginable. However, it was no wonder. Junior brother Xiao Han's trip to the genius zone was extremely precious. It is precisely because of this kind of life and death experience that I can shine so brilliantly today. It's mainly because of Xiao Han's accumulation. Ordinary people can't compare to him. Crow nodded. Fiendish hero pagoda in the spirit house where Xiao Han was. At this moment, Xiao Han's entire body was glowing with a crystal-clear divine light. There were 61 balls of blazing light on Xiao Han's body. These were the 61 acupoints that Xiao Han had opened. At this moment, the 61 acupoints shot out endless brilliant and beautiful light beams. These light beams were extremely mystical and actually intertwined with each other to form pictures. There were immortals, demons, and countless living beings in those pictures. They displayed a mysterious and invincible power. This caused Xiao Han to deeply feel that he had already entered a surging torrent of the world's great power. The circulation of Xiao Han's true energy became more and more intense, almost reaching a level where it was as boundless as the sea. It was as if he could fight against nature itself. With one hand covering the sky, he was invincible, and supremely supreme. The pure true qi washed over Xiao Han's body like a waterfall, nourishing his skin until it became even whiter and more translucent. The pores on his skin were fine, without a single flaw. It was extremely perfect. His entire body seemed as if it was carved out of crystal. The feeling of being nourished by true qi is really wonderful. At this moment, Xiao Han finally felt the beauty of having a powerful true qi. The first round of purification of the life talisman has reached 3,000 times. This way, the pure true qi power of this talisman has reached 450 billion cauldrons. I don't need to use any true qi divine art at all. Just releasing this life talisman will be enough to crush a plane, kill ghosts and gods, and instantly kill some of the weaker tower masters. Moreover, this is only the first round of purification. I still have 9 chances left. Just now, when I sorted out those memories, my accumulation has been deduced to the peak. Now, it is not a problem for me to burst my acupoints again and again. The first round of purification of the life talisman is just an appetizer. The best is yet to come. At this moment, bang! Xiao Han's 60-second acupoint directly exploded. The aura of his body had more than doubled. On the square of the Demon Hero Pagoda, within the suspended white light screen, Xiao Han's life talisman was rippling again. It was being washed by tens of thousands of divine lights. Its volume increased again. Its aura was rising steadily. The pressure was getting stronger and stronger. Xiao Han's momentum is like a hot knife through butter. He has opened the 60-second acupoint. The life talisman is being washed and refined again. This round, the speed and frequency of Xiao Han's life talisman being washed was much faster than the first round. In just a few breaths, it has been washed more than 100 times. Could it be that the number of times of purification of the life talisman in the second round will exceed the 3,000 times of the first round? The momentum is too fierce. It has already been washed 1,000 times. The second round has just begun, and it has already reached 1,000 times. The entire life talisman is showing a kind of flawless quality. I have never seen such a perfect life talisman before. Among the ancient giants, the number 1 boss was also filled with madness. In the secular world, there should not be such a perfect life talisman. Finally, Xiao Han had opened the 60-second acupoint. The second round of purification of the life talisman had reached 4,000 times. The first 2 rounds of purification of the life talisman had reached 7,000 times. In this plane, no matter how talented a person was, when they were in the talisman transformation realm, 10 rounds of purification of the life talisman would at most accumulate over 100 times. Even if it was a monster from other planes, it would be rare for someone to accumulate over 1,000 times in 10 rounds. As for Xiao Han, he had only used 2 chances and had already done 7,000 times. With the remaining 8 chances, it would probably be easy for him to break the record of 10,000 times. If that was the case, he would really be comparable to an immortal. Moreover, Xiao Han's second round of purification of the life talisman had exceeded the first time. This was also a sign of great momentum. At the top floor of the Yaoxia Pagoda. Roar? 7,000 times. Just 2 rounds of purification of the life talisman had exceeded 7,000 times. What a monster. He's not human at all. The pagoda master was completely crazy. He let out a heart-wrenching howl, as if he was in so much pain that he wanted to die. When I first purified the life talisman, I accumulated less than 300 times in 10 rounds. All the elders fell silent. In this plane, the human race gathered together to watch Xiao Han break through to the next realm. In the demon metropolis, at this moment, the demon capital that was originally in a state of devastation and was in a state of desolation was extraordinary. In the core area of the demon metropolis, a large space array had been set up, and a misty demonic aura was rising. Among the 10 great emperors of the demon metropolis, other than the fallen great emperor, the remaining 9 great emperors had already led a large number of mutated demon emperors and ultimate mutated demon emperors to guard the side of the array. At this moment, boom! In the array the space shook, and then a strong demonic aura rushed out. The space in the array wriggled and protruded a few times. Then a few young men in human form walked out, but their eyes were like the sea of blood, and they were full of demonic aura. Ah! We finally arrived. Ah! The young men laughed sinisterly the moment they walked out of the array. They looked around, and then their gazes landed on the chief emperor of the demon metropolis, Emperor Woodfern. Oh, you must be the leader of the demon race in this plane, Emperor Woodfern, right? The demonic youths walked over. When we received your message, we rushed over according to the coordinates you provided. You even built a teleportation array to welcome us. Not bad, not bad. Our kind from the other planes have finally arrived. Emperor Woodfern didn't dare to be negligent, because the demonic youths that came out of the teleportation array gave him a sense of extreme danger. Everyone, such strong demonic energy. Emperor Woodfern, to be honest, your plane is a little trashy. The demonic youths looked at each other and laughed. Emperor Woodfern, as the leader of the demon race in this plane, your demonic energy, if you were in our plane, you would only be an ordinary demon emperor. You wouldn't have any status. This, sigh? Emperor Woodfern felt extremely awkward. At this time, one of the demonic youths looked in the direction of the demon hero pagoda, and then closed his eyes. The scent of the human race. I smell the scent of the human race. When he opened his eyes, he saw the scent of the human race. When he opened his eyes, a scene of hellish azura and severed limbs appeared in his eyes. Kill. The human race in our plane has been eaten up. It's been a long time since I've had a full meal. I can't wait. I really want to eat the brains of the human race from the other planes. I'm afraid it'll be a different kind of flavor. Just at this moment, an obscure pressure emanated from the misty demonic formation. Very quickly, this pressure covered the sky and covered the earth. Creaking sounds that caused one's teeth to ache could be heard, as if some peerless ferocious creature was about to be born. The light in the vast demon capital was distorted, and the entire place was plunged into a state of darkness. An indifferent voice echoed between heaven and earth. What a trashy plane. I heard that an extremely high-quality demonic energy has appeared in this plane, so I came to take a look. If I've been deceived, then I don't mind eating this plane. A deep and evil voice said coldly. To be continued? Chapter 539. Xiaohan's Plane. The Demon Capital. A gigantic vortex of demonic qi squirmed madly. Demonic qi filled the air, terrifying the soul. Countless ancient demonic runes swirled around the vortex. It was a spatial teleportation formation. Great Emperor Woodfern had set it up to personally welcome the demon race army from another plane, allowing them to reach this plane without a hitch. Such a small plane. I'm afraid that I'll damage it if I make a slight move. In the misty demonic qi, there was a pressure that could topple the mountains and overturn the seas. Then, a giant in a scaled battle robe walked out with a rumbling sound. This giant clad in scaled armor was more than 10 zhang tall. He looked like a savage spirit god that had walked out from the primordial chaos. His facial features looked as if they had been chiseled by a knife. At the center of his brows, there was a heavenly eye that had suppressed the eons. It was a great Tao divine ability. At first glance, this was a human tower master expert. His body had 101 true acupoints, and his heavenly eye had been opened. However, in reality, this was merely a puppet body that had its brain matter devoured by a demon and taken over by it. In other words, this giant clad in scaled armor was already dead. What was holding up this layer of human skin was a powerful demon. To be able to possess the body of a human tower master was no small matter. Furthermore, Great Emperor Woodfern and the other demons could feel that this giant clad in scaled armor must have been unbelievably powerful when he was alive. He was definitely many times stronger than the human tower masters in Great Emperor Woodfern's plane. He was a supreme expert of the human race who could crush Great Emperor Woodfern with a single finger. But now his brain had been sucked dry by a demon. Too powerful. The strength of this demon is shocking. It's beyond my understanding. Great Emperor Woodfern's hair stood on end. He had an urge to kneel down and kowtow. Oh, you're the Great Emperor Woodfern, who sent me a message? The scaled giant stared coldly at Emperor Woodfern. Two beams of demonic light shot out from his eyes, and a pressure as deep as the sea caused Emperor Woodfern's knees to buckle, and he fell to his knees. Furthermore, it wasn't just Emperor Woodfern. Every single member of the demonic race in the demon capital couldn't stand the overwhelming demonic energy and knelt to the ground. Yes, I am the leader of the demon folk of this plane. Emperor Woodfern howled in terror. It knew very well that with a single thought from the other party, its demon body would collapse and disintegrate. As for this trash plane, this emperor will investigate the matter of the powerful demonic chi source. Ah. Don't be afraid, I don't have the ambition to invade and occupy a plane like yours. The only thing I'm interested in is the powerful demonic chi that you mentioned. The scaled armored giant sneered. Let's not talk about the demonic chi source for now. We're going to eat at least half of the humans in this plane. Nidal's voice rang out from the teleportation formation. Then, dozens of greater demons that were strong enough to destroy the entire demon capital walked out one after another. Every single one of these demons was many times stronger than Emperor Woodfern. Their bodies were as bright as the sea, and every single one of their cells was filled with demonic energy that could overturn rivers and seas. Within their bodies, their demon veins intertwined like horned dragons. It was unknown how many demon veins they had awakened, but there were likely more than 1,000,000 of them. Every single one of them was like an evil dragon that could devour mountains and rivers. Swoosh, 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 swoosh. Countless black ptomaine locusts blotted out the sky as they rushed out of the demonic chi formation. The temperature of the entire demon capital plummeted by many times. Then the black ptomaine locusts gathered together to form a demonic being with a black cloak and a mask covering its face. It sneered and moved its body slightly. Countless rays of demonic light shot out from the depths of its body and penetrated the void. These rays of demonic light seemed to turn into numerous demonic spirits that searched the plane, capturing and torturing everything in their path. Another greater demon had appeared. Coming to a low-level plane like this to have some fun is also a way to relax. I can also have a taste of the brains of the humans here. I'm already sick of the taste of the human brains in my plane. Soon, a yellow-robed man walked out of the formation. His face was handsome, but his head was covered with faint purple scales. His eyes were smiling. However, the strange thing was that he stood on the same spot as if he didn't exist. It was as if he was in a different time and space from the other demons. However, as soon as the yellow-robed man appeared, the pupils of some of the most powerful demons shrank and showed a look of dread. The human tower master of this plane must be left for me to enjoy. Eating the pagoda master is my lifelong pursuit and hobby. Ah! A beast monarch with golden fur all over his body stepped forward. Without a doubt, this was a monstrous beast monarch. He could definitely move the stars in space with a wave of his hand. The so-called planets and planes were as fragile as marbles in front of him, unable to withstand a single blow. In just a few days, countless demons from other planes had arrived at Xiaohan's plane. Thousands, tens of thousands, 100,000? At this moment, the huge demon capital was filled with great demon sovereigns from different planes. Some of the great demon sovereigns even led an army of mutated demon emperors and ultimate mutated demon emperors. Great Emperor Woodfern humbly welcomed these demons from other planes who were many times stronger than him. He trembled with fear, afraid that he would be killed if he made the slightest mistake. At this moment, Great Emperor Woodfern was extremely conflicted. Finally, my plan has come to fruition. It's perfect. I can't believe I've attracted so many demons from other planes. But it's too dangerous. They're too dangerous. I feel like I'm asking a tiger for its skin. No, I feel like I've invited a wolf into my house. Now, the slightest mistake might anger them, and the demon capital will be reduced to rubble in an instant. Great Emperor Woodfern trembled with fear. He hadn't expected that the demons from other planes would be so powerful, and their numbers had exceeded his expectations. Forget it. Now that things have come to this, I can't back down anymore. At the very least, I'll take this opportunity to wipe out all the humans in this plane. And I'll capture the silver-masked demon emperor. I can't care about that anymore. I've already been forced into a dead end. The fear in the Woodfern Emperor's eyes gradually subsided, replaced by a frenzied expression that bordered on hysteria. Wuxia domain. In this plane, the undercurrents were turbulent and the winds were raging. While the demon capital was experiencing an earth-shattering event, the Wuxia domain of the human race was also experiencing a magnificent scene. The number one genius of the human race, Xiaohan, was breaking through to the next realm. 7th stage True Qi, talisman-forming realm. He was refining his natal talisman in a frenzy. Above the Wuxia pagoda, all sorts of strange phenomena were taking place. Shockwaves from Xiaohan's cultivation rushed out of the Wuxia pagoda. Raging true qi rained down from the sky, converging into an ocean. Dragons and serpents roiled in the ocean of true qi, immortal beasts appeared, celestial music rang out, and all sorts of praises were sung. However, the demon heroes in the Yaoxia domain who were watching the ceremony no longer cried out in surprise. They seemed numb. Their faces were lifeless, their eyes bulging out of their sockets as they stared blankly at the white screen. Waves of immortal qi were washing away Xiao Han's natal talisman. In the past few days, Xiao Han's natal talisman seemed to have been constantly being washed and refined. Now, this natal talisman had already shown a color that was close to heaven. It was clear and flawless. Furthermore, the size of the natal talisman was boundlessly large. Once it was released, the true energy contained within it would definitely be able to topple mountains and overturn seas, sweep through rivers, and even tear apart continents and plains with ease. At this point, Xiao Han had already broken through the 68th true acupoint, and the number of rounds of washing his natal talisman had reached 8. In the first round, the natal talisman was washed 3,000 times. In the second round, the natal talisman was washed 4,000 times. In the third round, 5,000 times. In the fourth round, 6,000 times. In the fifth round, 7,000 times. In the sixth round, 8,000 times. In the seventh round, 9,000 times. In the eighth round, 10,000 times. Terrifying. Heaven-defying. Freak. Invincible. After washing the natal talisman, it actually showed a trend of increasing. There was no sign of decline at all. The aftereffects were continuous. In other words, after accumulating 8 rounds, Xiao Han's natal talisman had been washed 52,000 times. This result was the best in the entire universe. It could dominate countless ordinary planes. It could even rival immortals. Now, the pure true qi contained in Xiao Han's natal talisman had reached 780 billion cauldrons. It far exceeded the power of his flesh shell. This was the power contained in the talisman without the addition of any true qi technique. Once he cultivated a slightly more powerful true qi technique, the power of Xiao Han's natal talisman would be enhanced, and it would easily break through 100 billion cauldrons. A single life talisman could crush countless pagoda masters to death. Moreover, Xiao Han was still trying to break through. He wanted to break through the 69th and 70th true acupoint and complete the last 2 rounds of washing. Under everyone's gaze, bang! The white light screen shook violently, turning the sky and earth upside down. It showed that Xiao Han had successfully broken through the 69th true acupoint. Then, hua 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 hua, hua 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 hua, the natal talisman was washed once again. 15,000 times. Xiao Han's 9th round of washing has directly reached 15,000 times. After 9 rounds, the natal talisman has been washed a total of 67,000 times. The number of washing of the natal talisman will definitely exceed the previous round. Each round is more ferocious than the previous. Each round is more freakish than the previous. What kind of miracle will be created in the last round? After the first 9 rounds of washing of the natal talisman, the white light screen became silent for a long time. However, within this silence, there were signs of something brewing. The last round Xiao Han seemed to be brewing. What kind of storm would erupt? To be continued. Chapter 540. Xiao Han went into seclusion to break through the true energy realm. When he reached the 7th stage of true energy talisman transformation, he broke through from the 61st true acupoint to the 69th true acupoint, obtaining a total of 9 rounds of refining and cleansing the life talisman. In these 9 rounds, Xiao Han became more and more ferocious and perverted each time. He had accumulated a total of 67,000 times of cleansing his true life talismans. This result was the best in the universe, comparable to that of an immortal. Those who were most optimistic about Xiao Han and believed in him the most couldn't have expected such a result. It was really heaven-defying. However, before breaking through the 70th true acupoint and the last round of cleansing the life talisman, the Yaoxia pagoda fell silent, and the white wall light curtain also seemed to be still. That earth-shattering energy fluctuation had completely stopped. The entire Yaoxia region was silent. Just like that, the silent scene lasted for 3 days and 3 nights. In the Yaoxia pagoda, it was a pool of stagnant water. Finally, all the demons watching the ceremony began to whisper to each other. It stopped? Xiao Han's cultivation had finally come to a halt? The 70th true acupoint was not broken through after all? Did Xiao Han's potential temporarily run out when he broke through the 69th true acupoint? Probably. After all, the first 9 rounds of cleansing the life talisman was too heaven-defying. As the saying goes, the greater the achievement, the greater the consumption. Maybe Xiaohan ran out of energy. On the side of the Pure Rain sect, Wuxia and the others were now shocked and proud. At the same time there were some discussions. Sect Master, junior brother Xiaohan's storm-like cultivation finally stopped, Dong Fangqin said with bulging eyes. Some time ago. It was too exciting. It was too enjoyable. Junior brother Xiaohan's cultivation has really broadened our horizons. He's constantly nourishing his destiny talisman, raising the might of his destiny talisman to the limit. Junior brother Xiaohan's life talisman can definitely shatter thousands of miles of rivers and mountains. But judging from the current situation, junior brother Xiaohan's seclusion this time should be coming to an end. It has been 3 days and there is no more movement in the Yaoxia Pagoda. The energy fluctuations and various auras that were previously dispersed have now disappeared. Yes, when Xiaohan was cultivating, the world outside the Yaoxia Pagoda was full of strange phenomena. It was everywhere. But now, everything had been destroyed. The Yaoxia region returned to its usual appearance. The azure sky. The gentle breeze blew past and the fragrance of the leaves from the distant mountains. He's probably done with his cultivation. However, I did not break through to the 8th or 9th level of true qi. Fang Ling slightly knitted his brows. It seems like Xiaohan has to take it one step at a time in order to cultivate his true energy. Follow the rules. He was invincible in every realm, so it was impossible for him to increase his cultivation too quickly. The exploration of the genius zone had ended the foundation that Xiaohan had accumulated. But it's still heaven-defying enough. He shouldn't lose to an immortal, right? However, if he had finished his cultivation, why hasn't junior brother Xiaohan come out of seclusion? Xiao Mingqiu was also puzzled. It could also be brewing. Crow said with a trembling voice. An even bigger storm is brewing. Hiss. The people standing beside Wu all gasped. Inside the Yaoxia Pagoda, Xiaohan was in the spirit house. At this moment, there were rays of light intertwining around Xiaohan's body. Around him, 69 resplendent stars twinkled. The current situation was extremely mysterious. For example, right now, Xiaohan's body was like an independent universe, and his 69 acupoints were like the 69 resplendent stars in the starry sky of this universe. These 69 stars seemed to be able to communicate with the stars beyond the 9 heavens, absorbing the starlight and turning it into true energy. Xiaohan felt that his connection with the universe and nature was getting closer and closer. My body is like the universe and my true acupoints are like the stars. Every true acupoint can almost illuminate a part of the sky. My life talisman is as big as an empire, and the true energy contained in it can move mountains, fill the sea, and explode everything if released. However, I'm still one step away from the peak of the 7th level True Qi Talisman Transformation Realm and opening 70 true acupoints. The foundation that I've accumulated while adventuring in the Genius Zone is almost used up after the first few times. However, I'm not completely out of energy. The last bit of foundation is enough for me to open 70 true acupoints and complete the 10th round of purification of my life talisman. However, the effect of the 10th round of purification is not optimal. I'll brew for one last time. Slowly ferment all the accumulations and life force potential to the densest point. Then, combine it with mental energy and life saber chi to break through the 70th acupoint and cleanse the life talisman for the 10th round, defying the heavens once again. With this thought in mind, Xiaohan closed his eyes. His entire aura changed drastically. From a monarch descending upon the world, he became like a tree or stone, completely silent. All the energy waves in his body were deeply restrained. Like an animal hibernating, Xiaohan fell into a deep sleep. Of course, this kind of deep sleep was brewing. He closed his 6 senses and squeezed out all the remaining accumulation and foundation in his body and soul to the extreme. Another 7 days and 7 nights passed. The Yaoxia Pagoda and the entire Yaoxia region no longer emitted any signs of Xiaohan's cultivation. This made all the spectators more certain that Xiaohan had ended his seclusion. It was just that they did not see Xiaohan appear from the Yaoxia Pagoda with their own eyes. It's over. This magnificent cultivation is finally over. It's amazing. We didn't waste our time to come back from the depths of the great wilderness. It was a worthwhile trip. It's indescribably perfect. If I have to nitpick, the only regret is that I didn't open 70 true acupoints and complete the 10th round of purification of my life talisman. Then let's go. Oh, wait. When Xiaohan comes out, I want to kneel and worship him personally. Yes, I also want to see my idol. Wait until Xiaohan comes out. Since I'm already here, I won't leave easily. I have to see Xiaohan. Wait, when Xiaohan comes out, I'll kowtow and kowtow. I'll beg Xiaohan to take me as his disciple. Although they had already deduced that Xiaohan had ended his cultivation, none of the chivalrous spirits and martial artists who had come to watch the ceremony had left. All of them gathered in the Yaoxia domain and watched bitterly. They didn't want to go just to see Xiaohan. They had personally witnessed Xiaohan's peerless charm. Yaoxia Tower. On the top floor. Roar. He had actually managed to reach such a level, purifying the life talisman. Tens of thousands of times. Now it was just a natal talisman. Just a little bit of its aura was enough to crush my body. My half-immortal body is completely useless in front of this natal talisman. I can't even put up the slightest resistance. Pagoda Master let out a sorrowful howl. Pagoda Master, everything is over. The dust has settled. Xiaohan is invincible. Not only is he invincible in our plane. Even if he went to any other secular plane, he would still be invincible. An elder said. He said in a resigned tone. Tower Master, before going into seclusion, Xiaohan's trump card in the genius zone was his physical strength and soul intent. His weakness was his cultivation of true qi. But now he has no weaknesses. His cultivation of true qi has also grown to a heaven-defying level. Although he is only at the 7th phase of true qi, a natal talisman can instantly kill countless pagoda masters. Hiss. If Xiaohan reached the 8th stage of true qi, the 9th stage of true qi, or even the 10th stage of true qi, then what? Wouldn't he be able to fight against immortals? Another elder let out a cry of horror. He's invincible. It's hard to find anyone below immortal level who can fight against him. Another elder nodded repeatedly. Then a wise man submits to circumstances. Now let's go and welcome Xiaohan out of seclusion. The 12 elders all left the secret chamber. With fawning expressions on their faces, they eagerly made their way to Xiaohan's house of mind, where he was in seclusion. Congratulations to young hero Xiaohan for successfully breaking through to the next level. Now we will welcome young hero Xiaohan out of seclusion. The 12 elders stood outside the spirit house with their hands by their sides, bowing and calling out to the newcomers. However, there was only silence in the house of extraterrestrial consciousness. Oh. Young hero Xiaohan, have you finished your cultivation? The 12 elders waited outside the spirit house for 3 days and 3 nights, but there was no response from Xiaohan. They had no choice but to return to the secret chamber at the top of the pagoda. You bunch of bootlickers. The pagoda master shouted coldly. What's wrong? You went to welcome Xiaohan, but he hasn't come out yet? You've been snubbed for your warm faces, haven't you? Is it interesting? Pagoda Master. Now that things have come to this, please calm down. You can't fight Xiaohan anymore. Just accept your fate, the elders advised. Accept my fate? Ah. Indeed, I can only accept my fate. The Pagoda Master laughed maniacally. Ah. Who would have thought that a little ant would grow to such an abnormal level in such a short period of time? Now I've become an ant. The beautiful world, the beautiful rivers and mountains have been taken by him. Ah. It's a pity. I was too merciful when I was able to kill him. Ah. Pagoda Master, you don't have to be like this. Xiaohan is destined to be a heaven's favored one. You can't fight against fate. You can only accept fate's arrangement. Moreover, Xiaohan is from our plane after all. When a man achieves the Tao, even his fowls and dogs rise to the heavens. In the future, Xiaohan's achievements will benefit us a little. Pagoda Master, think about it yourself. We'll take our leave first. The 12 elders left the secret chamber. Ah. People are divided. When the tree falls, the monkeys scatter. Ah. The Pagoda Master let out a sorrowful and unwilling cry. Then, his voice spread outside the Yaoxia Pagoda. Go away. Everyone in the world is a bootlicker. They're all here watching Xiaohan. Ah. Get out of the Yaoxia region. Get out. Get out. Those who remain will be killed by me personally. Get out. Outside the Yaoxia Pagoda. The huge Yaoxia region was shrouded in the Pagoda Master's anger and pressure. The Yaoxia warriors who attended the ceremony left one after another. Let's go. We've waited for a full 10 days, but Xiaohan still hasn't come out. If we wait any longer, I'm afraid there won't be any results in a short period of time. Now the Pagoda Master is furious. He's jealous of Xiaohan. Yes, the Pagoda Master was originally the leader of our plane. He could summon the wind and rain, command the world, and preside over the overall situation. No one dared to disobey him. But now, compared to Xiaohan, he's worse than an ant. Under the attack of jealousy, he's very likely to vent his anger on us. There's no need for us to get into trouble. Let's leave first. When Xiaohan comes out, we'll visit him again. Yes, let's go first. This pagoda master is too narrow-minded. Our plane has produced Xiaohan, a heavens-favored one comparable to an immortal. Not only is he not pleased, but he's also jealous and embarrassed. Now we'll bear with it for the time being. If he lets us go, we'll all return. When Xiaohan comes out in the future, I'll see if this pagoda master still dares to be so arrogant. Ah, he dares to be arrogant? He dares to jump? Xiaohan can crush him with one finger. In the midst of laughter, all the Yaoxia warriors in the Yaoxia region retreated like the tide. To be continued. Chapter 541. Sect Leader, are we staying or leaving now? Dongfang Qin, Fang Ling and Xiao Mingchu looked at Wu Yu. Let's leave as well. Let's return to the Pure Cloud sect. Wu Li smiled faintly. The matter has come to an end. Although I don't know why Xiaohan still hasn't come out of seclusion, there's no need to worry about him. Let's go. The pagoda lord has already gone crazy. He must be extremely unwilling to accept Xiaohan's rise to power. That little youth from back then has already replaced his position. Let's return to the lofty mountain range and wait for Xiaohan. Within a day, the crowded Yaoxia domain had become deserted and silent. It revealed a desolate mood. At the top of the hero tower. Inside the secret room, the pagoda master held a jar of wine in his hand and madly drank it while laughing maniacally. As for Xiaohan's house of Psyche, it was still as calm as ever. At the same time in Yaodu, if one were to say that the Devil Hero region was empty and desolate at the moment, then the demon metropolis would be flourishing. Many great demons from other planes had already descended upon this plane. Now, the demon metropolis was full of powerful mutated demon emperors, ultimate mutated demon emperors and even demon emperors. On the third floor of the demon metropolis, in the five-colored demon palace. At this moment, hundreds of the most powerful beast monarchs had gathered in the five-colored beast palace. Any one of these demon emperors could single-handedly annihilate all the living beings of the human race on this plane. The monster hero tower was as weak as an ant in their eyes, regardless of whether it was an ancient giant, an eternal giant, an elder, or a tower master. The leaders of the demon folk, Grand Emperor Woodfern and the others, were currently standing subserviently in a corner of the five-colored demon palace. Grand Emperor Woodfern, we've heard everything that transpired, a white-robed man said coolly. From time to time, ancient demon clan runes would appear in his eyes. The silver-masked demon emperor is indeed strange. In the final moment, a demonic energy that could destroy anything and everything erupted from its body. It was the supreme-grade essence demonic energy. Even the demon god altar that you invited with your demonic senses was refined by the supreme-grade demonic chi in the silver-masked demon emperor's body. To be able to refine a trace of Lord Demon God's will, there's no doubt that it's the source of demonic chi from the upper realm. How powerful! If the demonic beasts of the lower realm were to obtain this essential demonic chi, we might be able to ascend to the demonic realm. Another powerful demonic beast emperor's eyes flashed with greed. He licked his lips and said, "It's really strange," said a middle-aged man with a golden horn on his forehead. The demons born in such a tiny plane are so weak and laughable, and yet they manage to absorb a sliver of the Lord Demon God's will. That's almost impossible. He looked at Emperor Woodfern suspiciously. Emperor Woodfern, you couldn't possibly be lying to us, right? Did you fabricate some silver-masked monster emperor to trick us into coming here to use our power? The human demon who helped you devour and destroy this plane. You've got guts. The man chuckled coldly, causing Grand Emperor Woodfern's soul to writhe with pain. No, I wouldn't dare. I wouldn't dare lie to you. Grand Emperor Woodfern let out a heart-wrenching howl. Enough. An old man with a crown on his head let out a muffled groan. The man with the golden horn trembled and lowered his head. The pain in Grand Emperor Woodfern's soul was alleviated. There's something strange about this plane, the old man said, looking in the direction of the Demon Hero region. I sensed it a while ago. I sensed a very terrible wave of genuine chi coming from the direction of the human clan chivalrous region in your plane. This wave of genuine chi can suppress the ages and condense the sky. It is even several times stronger than the leader of the human clan's chivalrous region. However, now, this mysterious and powerful wave of genuine chi has disappeared without a trace. Logically speaking, the humans of this plane shouldn't have given birth to such a heaven-defying expert. Otherwise, Emperor Woodfern, your entire race would have been massacred long ago. Yes. The demon hero leader of this plane is as strong as me, but not by too much. Throughout history, there has never been a human expert who could suppress the Yao race, said Emperor Woodfern. That's why I said there's something strange about this plane. The old man with the crown on his head nodded. You see, we have so many demon emperors, what do we have to fear? No matter how strong their true energy is, they're no match for us. Only human immortals can pose a threat to us, a green-skinned demon snorted disdainfully. Alright, let's wage war on the human demons of this plane. Kill all the demons of the human race in this plane and devour their brains. I can't wait any longer. The human demons of this plane aren't that big of a deal, a youth with monstrous demonic energy said. The main thing is to find the silver-masked demon emperor. He has something that we want, a young man with a monstrous demonic aura said indifferently. Forgive me, but I'm not interested in declaring war on the human demons of this plane. I'm here for the high-grade origin demonic chi. But, the silver-masked demon emperor has hidden himself very well. Grand Emperor Woodfern said hesitantly. Ever since he took Master Yen Lang away from the demon capital, he's been very quiet. It's as if he's evaporated from this plane. I've been searching for him in secret for a long time, but I haven't found any clues. Don't worry. We'll use our demonic senses to search this plane. We'll definitely find the silver-masked demon emperor, another powerful demon emperor said with a grimace. At this moment, a bald, burly man's eyes flashed with demonic light. It wasn't easy for us to come to this plane. It wouldn't make sense if we didn't have some fun. Then, let's find the silver-masked demon emperor while we play with the humans of this plane. Oh? How do we play with them? Do you have any exciting tricks up your sleeve? Some of the demon emperors asked with interest. That's right. Although there were countless ordinary planes in the vast universe, if they didn't have accurate spatial coordinates, they wouldn't be able to reach other planes easily even if they had great abilities. Now that they had come to this plane, they felt that it was very exciting. All of them were restless, wanting to stir up trouble and toy with the humans of this plane. I'm an expert in playing with humans. We can first create some disasters such as plagues, causing the humans of this plane to fall into panic and despair. At that time, the humans will beg helplessly in despair. They will fall into panic and despair. At that time, the human race will let out helpless and desperate pleas. Their social structure will quickly collapse and people will no longer trust each other. That's great. Then, even the demon heroes of the human race will be helpless. We can play with all the humans in this plane bit by bit. Don't you think it's very interesting? The bald giant man's eyes were scarlet red and his voice was trembling as he spoke. I can't wait. Alright. I'll release 176 types of plagues to the human kingdoms of this plane right now. As soon as he finished speaking, the body of the bald, burly man slightly trembled, and suddenly dense black light rays were directly refracted. Among the black light rays, they contained countless tiny demon characters, invisible and intangible. They directly shot into the sky towards the 4 regions of the human race, as well as the great wilderness. So boring. A great emperor of the demon clan who looked like a scholar laughed in disdain. I'd better go and look for the silver-masked demon emperor myself. In fact, as long as I find the alchemist Yen, I'll be able to find the silver-masked demon emperor. After saying that, the scholarly demon emperor's body turned into ripples. He disappeared directly from the 5-colored demon palace. Yes, let's find the alchemist Yen first. A group of demon emperors all stood up and disappeared without a trace in an instant. I don't like to play with humans. I like to kill directly. I'll go and slaughter a few human kingdoms first to have some fun. A ferocious-looking demon emperor opened his bloody mouth. He opened his bloody mouth and between his teeth, there was still some human muscle tissue and dripping flesh. He also quickly disappeared. On the square outside the 5-colored demon palace. All mutant demon emperors listen to my order. A cold-looking demon emperor wearing a scarlet cloak floated above the square. On the square, there were tens of thousands of ultimate mutant demon emperors standing densely. Demonic aura soared into the sky and did not disperse, forming a constantly rolling and squirming sea of blood. Coming to this strange plane has caused your blood to boil. In our plane, the human race's demon heroes are powerful and have formed a balanced situation with our demon race. But in this small plane, the human race's demon heroes are too weak. Okay, everyone go and kill to your heart's content in this plane. Play with the human race in this plane as much as you want. Yes. Ah. Tens of thousands of ultimate mutant demon emperors roared excitedly. The next moment, whoosh, 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 tens of thousands of ultimate mutant demon emperors teleported away from the demon capital and sneaked into the human world. In the *** mountain range. In the *** sect. In the *** palace. At this moment, Wu Shun was pacing anxiously in the garden with his hands behind his back. Xiao Mingqiu, Fang Ling and Dong Fangqin were also following him with tense faces. Sect Master, it has been 7 days since we returned to the sect. Junior brother Xiao Han still hasn't come out of seclusion. It's quiet in the Demon Hero Pagoda, Dong Fangqin said in a hurry. Junior brother Xiao Han is extremely talented, so there shouldn't be any accidents. But 3 days ago, a large-scale plague broke out in the Beacon Fire Empire, where our sect belongs to. Countless people were infected with a plague called Red Bean Plague. This Red Bean Plague is very terrible. Within a day, the infected person's whole body will be covered with red sores and extremely itchy. No medicine can cure it. The infected person can't bear it and can only scratch the skin and flesh all over his body, causing pus to burst out until his whole body is torn apart. He scratches and bites himself into a pile of white bones. Fang Ling also frowned deeply. Those who are infected with the Red Bean Plague will definitely die within 3 days. Currently, dozens of counties in the entire Beacon Fire Empire have been swept by the Red Bean Plague. So far, hundreds of thousands of people have died. Xiao Mingqiu also became anxious. This plague came without warning and it's really hard on the people. Sect Master, the Medicine King Valley is already refining the antidote. I wonder if they can refine the antidote as soon as possible. There's something fishy about this. Suddenly, Wu Shun looked into the distance and said worriedly. I received news yesterday that it's not just our Beacon Fire Empire. Various plagues have broken out in the 4 regions of the east, south, west, and even in the vast wilderness. Some small countries are already full of corpses and the whole country is mourning. Chapter 542. Although Xiao Han's dimension had been plagued by demons since ancient times, the human fiendish chivalrous cultivators were still considered behemoths. Therefore, most of the territory was still prosperous, with peace and prosperity everywhere. Only a very small number of regions would have demons roaming about, tormenting the common people. However, there were very few cases of demons massacring cities and countries. Recently, the entire plain had sunk into a state of panic. This panic was not only limited to the southern region's Beacon Fire Empire. It also included the other countries of the southern region, the eastern region, the western region, the northern region, and even the Great Desolate region. None of them were spared. Plague. It was a terrible plague. Red Bean Plague. Red Spot Plague. Corpse Poison Plague. Rotting Plague. Green Lotus Plague. Hundreds of terrible plagues swept through the entire plain. These plagues were extremely ferocious. Anyone who was infected would die within a few days. Moreover, their deaths were so tragic that it was unbearable to look at them. Countless elites and experts from the major sects of the various regions and countries traveled among the commoners in the mortal world, trying their best to contain these terrible plagues. But it was to no avail. All the outstanding alchemists in this plane acted upon hearing the news and treated the plague carriers on the streets, but there was no good solution. Moreover, as the plague progressed, not only did the commoners who did not know martial arts suffer, even the martial artists who cultivated in the martial way, and even some of the sect's true Qi realm disciples, were infected by the plague. In the end, their souls were crushed and they died a violent death. The huge plain was almost in a state of destruction. Almost all the demons in the demon hero domain who ruled over the human race in this plane. They all came out in full force. Southern region. Beacon Fire Empire. Imperial City. The luxurious Imperial City. At this moment, they had already fallen into a tragic situation. On the flat road, there were civilians who were either sitting or lying down. Their bodies were covered with red bean scars. The shops along the street were all closed. From time to time, There would be heart-wrenching screams coming from the courtyards of some wealthy families. Ah. Itchy and painful. I'm dying of itch. Bitter. I've been doing good all my life, why did I end up like this? Ah. My son, you, hang in there. Mother. Why are there red beans growing on my arm? It's so itchy. The streets and alleys were filled with shrill cries, sounds of tearing, scratching, biting, crying and mourning. There was a wave of stench, the stench of feces, the stench of corpses and the stench of decay. It filled every corner of the imperial city. There were also countless disgusting flies. Giant mosquitoes and even black mice crawled around without any fear. Hell on earth. On a long street, hundreds of people were lying on the ground, covered in blood. Their faces and bodies were covered in red pimples. They were frantically tearing at their skin and rubbing against the ground. In the end, some of them even went completely crazy and started to attack the people around them. Da-da-da-da, the sound of hooves could be heard. A group of cavalrymen with big horses and bright armor appeared on the street. The leading general's body was filled with surging true energy. At this moment, his eyebrows were furrowed, and a ruthless aura could be seen in the depths of his eyes. General Ma, don't tell me, do we have to do this? A soldier rode his horse to the side of the general. His face was full of sympathy. There's no other way, it's completely chaotic. This red bean plague is going to destroy the foundation of our Beacon Fire Empire. We can't delay any longer. These people in front of us have been infected with the plague for a few days and are beyond cure. They can spread the plague at any time and pollute the entire imperial city. Suddenly, the general's eyes were filled with killing intent. Obey the order of your majesty. Immediately execute the people who carry the plague. Execute them immediately. Pooh. 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 Heads flew up one by one, and the blood from the neck soared to the sky. Beacon Fire Empire, Imperial Palace. The current emperor of Beacon Fire Empire was standing in an elegant room with a worried expression. A few eunuchs were serving him at the side, trembling with fear. On a soft couch with embroidered curtains, laid a haggard and sickly beauty. She was beautiful, but her pale face was covered with red sores, a ghastly sight. Your Majesty. I beg your Majesty to remember that I've been obedient all these years and tried my best to serve your Majesty. Your Majesty, you must save me. The pretty woman said with tears streaming down her face. Imperial concubine Xiang, don't worry. We will definitely cure you. The Emperor said. The elders of Medicine King Valley have already arrived. Don't worry, Imperial concubine Xiang, you will definitely be fine. In front of the bed of Imperial concubine Xiang, a white-robed old man was taking Imperial concubine Xiang's pulse. His eyebrows were deeply knitted and his face was as heavy as water. Your Majesty. Imperial concubine Xiang seems to be infected with the red bean plague. The Valley Master is currently studying the method to cure this plague. Suddenly. Who? On the broad and smooth forehead of the white-robed old man, a red bean the size of a red bean suddenly sprang out. The white-robed old man subconsciously scratched his forehead with his hand. Pucci, he was completely unaware that he had used too much force. In an instant, he scratched his forehead until it was dripping with blood and his skin was torn open. Elder. Imperial concubine Xiang stared at the white-robed old man in horror. No matter, this old man just felt a little itchy. The white-robed old man said with a smile. At this moment, his smile was already extremely strange. Suddenly, pooh. From the white-robed old man's forehead and face, countless red beans sprang out, densely packed. Imperial concubine Xiang let out a scream and then fainted. Beacon Fire Empire Imperial City. The massacre gradually began. The Imperial Guards of Beacon Fire Empire were mobilized, their iron hooves trampling, their swords swinging, madly slaughtering the commoners infected with the red bean plague. In an instant, the strong smell of blood covered the sky and the earth, and human heads, one by one, flew into the sky. The entire imperial city resounded with the sound of crying to the heavens and the earth. At this moment, boom! A strong wave of chi. It descended out of thin air. Bang, 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 bang. Cavalrymen were slaughtering civilians. He was sent flying. A group of men and women who were covered in jewels and jewels. The one in the lead descended from the sky, his entire body flowing with a misty aura. It was the sect master of the Pure Rain sect, Wu Yu. Fong Ling of the Pure Maiden sect is here. How dare you kill innocent people? Die. Fong Ling was dressed in white. His sword energy was sharp and his body moved. The invisible sword chi had already killed some of the cavalrymen who were fighting with the most vigor. Wu Wang's spiritual energy swept out and saw that the entire imperial city was in a state of desolation. Sorrow flashed in his eyes as he shook his head slightly. Sect Master, this is truly a tragedy. Dongfang Qin said in a low voice while feeling helpless and painful. Could it be that there are some demons causing trouble? I don't sense the aura of the demon clan. Wu Yu shook his head. However, among these plagues there are many people. There were traces of demonic aura. This disaster is most likely related to the demon race. After a short pause, Lord Wu ordered. All true disciples of the Pure Rain sect, heed my command. He comforted the commoners in the imperial city. Stop the killing. Yes. Dozens of true disciples of the Pure Rain sect obeyed the command. Then Lord Wu said to Xiao Mingchu who was beside him. Mingchu, bring a few commoners who are infected with the red bean plague back. What? Let the master treat them. Western region. Feng Luo country. Ah. Demon. Demon? At this moment, above the imperial city of Feng Luo country, a giant red-scaled python that was 10,000 feet long appeared. The demonic aura was soaring and covered the sky. In the next moment, Puchi. The giant serpent opened its bloody mouth and sucked in all the human beings in the imperial city. Gaga gaga, tastes good. The humans in this plane taste a little more tender than the ones in my plane. Gaga gaga. The red-scaled giant python suddenly transformed into a red-haired demonic young man in red clothes. He descended and kept licking the corner of his mouth. There was an expression of wanting to continue. Eastern region. One of the strongest sects in the Eastern region. Raging Sword Divine Saber sect. At this moment, led by the sect master of Raging Sword Divine Saber sect, thousands of true Chi realm disciples were floating in the air. All kinds of true Chi rays shot out and dyed the entire sky with different colors. It was a spectacular sight. The sect master of Raging Sword Divine Saber sect was a middle-aged man with a thin face. He had a hairpin on his head and looked like an immortal. He carried a treasure sword and a battle saber on his back. Behind him, a huge true Chi vortex appeared. There were endless true Chi runes brewing inside. These true Chi runes were constantly moving and forming a formation. Inside the formation, there were golden spears and armored horses floating up and down. Countless sword and saber origin giant spirits exploded in the formation. How dare you, demon! How dare you harm the commoners in the territory of my Raging Sword Divine Saber sect! The sect master of Raging Sword Divine Saber sect roared angrily, I am an ancient giant on the demon warrior ranking. How dare you! Trash! The demon warriors of this plane are too weak. Surprisingly, the young demon man opposite him was full of arrogance. He looked around and his aura seemed to be able to devour the void and destroy everything. He made a grabbing motion with his right hand, and a dense river of demonic chi gushed out. With a single tremble, the Fury Sword Godly Saber sect, led by the patriarch of the ancient generation, and the thousands of true Chi realm disciples, were all crushed into black powder, scattering in all directions, not even their bones remained. Demon Warrior Pagoda. The secret room at the top of the pagoda. The 12 elders surrounded the pagoda master. Each and every one of the elders looked like they were on the verge of collapsing. Pagoda master. The world is in chaos. In a few days our plane will be in chaos. All kinds of plagues and poisons will run amok in the world. People will suffer and the people will have no way to live. Moreover, there are many mysterious and powerful demon clans that have used unknown methods to descend into our plane and kill our chivalrous heroes. Now even a few of our chivalrous heroes have fallen. Pagoda Master, at this time, you should take action. I should make my move? Ah. The Pagoda Master seemed to have vented his anger. He roared and laughed. He seemed very happy and had a sense of contentment. What does the chaos of the plane have to do with me? The strongest person in this plane is Xiao Han, and he has taken my place. Alright, let's not talk about it anymore. I'm going to leave this plane and go to the neighboring plane. Ha ha. The life and death of this plane have nothing to do with me. Get lost. All of you get lost. The Pagoda Master's body moved. His true chi shook and all the elders surrounding him were sent flying. Then he laughed and left. What should we do? Even the Pagoda Master has run away, disregarding the safety of the plane. What should we do? These elders were completely panicked and lost their minds. Now that things have come to this, Perhaps only one person can save this plane. Xiao Han. The 12 elders shouted in unison. Xiao Han is still in seclusion. However, at this moment of life and death, let's go immediately and ask Xiao Han to come out. Go. Immediately go to where Xiao Han is in seclusion and tell him about the chaos of the plane. Ask Xiao Han to come out. The plane is in danger. I hope Xiao Han can come out of seclusion and turn the tide. To be continued. Chapter 543. The 12 elders had already left the secret room at the top of the tower and rushed to Xiao Han's spirit room. They left the pagoda master alone in the secret room. Humph! The pagoda master snorted and rushed to the window. The pagoda master looked into the distance. Outside the window, the great rivers and mountains of this plain were covered with a layer of dead gray. In the air, one could vaguely see a thick demonic aura spreading. Endless demonic aura condensed into a group of hideous and terrifying demonic beast shadows, tearing, disappearing, and roaring. The entire plain was shrouded in a gloomy atmosphere. It was showing signs of a precarious and even on the verge of extinction. In just a few days, the plain that was full of vitality has become like this. Really? But it doesn't matter, I'm leaving now. Ah. That's right, Xiao Han has risen to power and replaced me as the leader of this plain. He has become the unparalleled hero in the eyes of millions and millions of people. He has even become the hope of the entire plain. This has caused me to lose all my face and reputation. But, I can't believe such an irreversible disaster has happened to this plain. How delightful. In this case, I can leave without hesitation and let Xiao Han bear all the blame. This is the greatest relief for me. What does the death of those civilians have to do with me? If they want to blame someone, blame their hero, Xiao Han. Without further ado, I'm leaving now. The pagoda master sneered, then made a prompt decision and rushed out. In the Yaoxia pagoda, there were all kinds of treasures, secret manuals, and supreme-grade true chi spirit stones. Pagoda master Yu Yur. The evil heroes who were in charge of guarding the treasures looked at the pagoda master in a daze. At this moment, the pagoda master actually took all the treasures and put them all into his storage ring. Pagoda master, are you going to take away the treasures that the Yaoxia pagoda has collected for countless years? A evil hero with a serious face blocked the pagoda master. Get out of my way. The pagoda master grinned viciously. True energy surged out of his body, immediately blasting the devil hero who was blocking his way into pieces. Xiao, the tower master took the secret treasure and fled. He immediately teleported away from the Yaoxia tower. The tower master has run away. The tower master has escaped. It was chaos in the hero pagoda. Demon capital. The Woodfern Emperor and the other demon emperors stood in a corner of the palace like servants. At the core area, they were hundreds of extremely powerful demonic emperors from other planes that could turn the world upside down. Moreover, in the entire demon metropolis, there were now mutated demon emperors and ultimate mutated demon emperors. There were millions of them. They had formed a terrifying demon race army. Millions of mutated demon emperors, ultimate mutated demon emperors. What did that mean? In Xiao Han's dimension, the number of ultimate mutation demon emperors in the demon metropolis was only over 1,000. In other words, there were over 1,000 ultimate mutated demon emperors and over 10,000 mutated demon emperors. Led by the 10 great demon emperors, they had fought against the human race heroes of this plane for countless years. However, the number of ultimate mutated demon emperors in the demon capital had increased by hundreds of times. Demonic chi soared into the sky. They breathed clouds and breathed mist. They could topple mountains and overturn seas. They could sweep through everything. This demon army is enough to flatten any ordinary dimension. The Woodfern Emperor said. They were all terrified. Even with his cultivation realm, he would not be able to withstand the attack of such an army. He would be engulfed in an instant without any ability to fight back. Then, let's surround the human Yaoxia tower of this plane. A powerful demon emperor who was as powerful as an ancient giant spirit let out a rumbling voice that affected a small area of the weather. The sky was covered in snow. It's very boring in this tiny plane. We can't find the silver-masked demon emperor in a short time, and we're all hungry. Then, let's kill all the human heroes in this plane first. He wanted to kill every single human hero in this plane. Exterminate the Yaoxia tower. Surround the Yaoxia tower. Slaughter them all. Kill them all. Roar. Fight. Fight. Millions of mutated demon emperors and ultimate mutated demon emperors, as well as countless ordinary demon emperors, demon generals and demon soldiers, let out ferocious roars. Emperor Woodfern, a young man with an emotionless demonic aura exuded from his body. Yes, yes. The Woodfern monarch bowed like a lowly servant as he stepped forward. Tell the humans of this plane that the demon army will attack the Wuxia Tower in 3 days. Tell the humans of this plane in advance so that they can gather at the Wuxia Tower from all directions. Then we can wipe them all out in one fell swoop. We can also pressure them in advance and cause them to crumble. The emotionless young man grinned. We love to see the humans crumble. That kind of panic and despair is something we demons enjoy very much. Yes, yes. I will immediately inform the humans of this plane of the final battle through various means, the Woodfern Emperor replied. 3 days from now. The final battle. No, it's not a final battle. In 3 days we will slaughter to our heart's content. Destroy the Wuxia Tower of this plane, and there will be countless delicious brains waiting for us to enjoy. Ah. The entire demon capital was shrouded in layers of evil and demonic aura. Mountain range sect on a secluded mountain peak. Some temporary thatched huts had been set up. A group of mortals infected with all sorts of plagues were being treated by Yen Lang. Yen Lang used the golden needles and all kinds of pills to relieve the pain of these people, which actually made them improve bit by bit. Grandmaster, you truly have a divine skill. Wu exclaimed. Yen Lang nodded slightly, then looked in the direction of the demon capital with a thoughtful expression. Grandmaster, can you refine a divine medicine that can completely cure the plague? Wu asked. Sect Master Wu. Yen Lang withdrew his thoughts and frowned when he heard Lord Wu's question. You've brought back a total of 35 mortals infected with different plagues. I can cure them all. I can also refine an antidote, but... Wu frowned. This plague was definitely spread by a powerful demon race. Yen Lang said with great certainty. I have a special ability to sense demonic qi. Thus, your humble servant is absolutely certain that all plagues in our plane have been infected by the plague. They were all spread by the same demon in an extremely short period of time. It can't be, right? Xiao Mingqiu exclaimed. I'm afraid that even the most powerful monster emperor in our realm doesn't have the ability to spread the plague virus across the entire realm in a short period of time. If it had that kind of heaven-defying ability, it would have done so long ago. It couldn't have waited until now. No, it wasn't Great Emperor Woodfern. Yen Lang shook his head with certainty. I've been in the demon folk for quite some time now, and I've learned a thing or two about the ruler, Grand Emperor Woodfern. It was extremely familiar. Emperor Woodfern's demonic energy had never reached such a terrifying level. If my speculations are correct, the demon spreading this plague is at least 10 times stronger than the Woodfern Emperor. What? Crow ***. Xiao Mingqiu, Dongfang Qin and Fang Ling all let out soul-stirring roars. A demon 10 times stronger than the strongest demon race in our plane? Crow exclaimed in shock. Could it be, Yen Lang sucked in a breath of cold air. It shouldn't be a demon race native to our plane but, a demon race from another plane. Right at this moment, Sect Master. An auspicious cloud flew over from the horizon. A young man at the True Qi realm jumped down from it. Sect Master, several hours ago, thousands of human sects and at least hundreds of empires were destroyed in the 4 regions of the East, West, North and South as well as the Great Wilderness. They were annihilated by the demon race. According to reliable sources, a red-haired, red-clothed demon race wiped out 18 sects in the eastern region in just 2 hours. He killed 3 ancient powerhouses and 11 ancient powerhouses. The young man at the True Qi realm reported with a face full of shock. It must be a demon race from another plane. How could it be so powerful? Great Emperor Woodfern can't possibly have such tyrannical combat strength. Yen Lang cried out in shock. That should be the case. Crow nodded slightly and gave the order. Pass down my order. The disciples of the Cloud Sect are to immediately announce to the world that there is a demon race invasion from another plane. It seems that the demon race is about to start a war. All the plagues and massacres are just a premonition. The real show is yet to come. Spread the news and tell the human warriors and demons to prepare for a battle to the death. Sect Master, you can inform the Tower Master and release the coordinates of our plane, so that the human experts from other planes can come to our rescue. Dong Fangqin said hurriedly. I'm afraid it's too late. Fang Ling said coldly. At this moment, Sect Master. Another ray of light flew over from the horizon. Sect Master, there's news from the demon capital. The demon race has invited us to a battle. The demon race has officially announced that they will fight us to the death at the Demon Hero Tower in 3 days. If the cultivators and demons of our plane don't dare to fight, the demon race will directly destroy every empire and sect in the mortal world and kill all the people of our plane. In just a few hours, the news of the demon race's challenge had spread to every corner of this plane. East, south, west, and north regions. The great wilderness. Countless human cultivators and demons felt the evil fighting spirit of the demon race. First of all, the demons scattered in the 4 regions of the human race and the great wilderness led their disciples to the demon hero domain at the fastest speed without hesitation. At the same time, the cultivators of many sects, even if they were not demons as long as they had cultivated martial arts, they all rushed to the demon hero domain. At this moment, all the living beings of the human race on this plane felt as if they were united against a common enemy. Moreover, according to the large-scale plague that broke out a few days ago and the destruction of some empires and sects, now everyone in the world knew that a great demon from another plane had arrived. Now the situation was simply precarious for this plane. Demon Hero Domain. Demon Hero Tower. Outside the Mind House where Xiaohan was in seclusion. Master Xiaohan, can you hear us? Please come out. Now, the demon race from another plane has arrived in our plane and launched a war against the entire human race. The entire plane is in deep trouble. The plane is in a precarious situation. 3 days later, the demon clan army will invade the Yaoxia domain. As long as they break through this line of defense, the people will have no way to survive. The 12 elders outside the Mind House wailed and beat their chests and stamped their feet, sobbing uncontrollably. At the same time, the demon capital. Oh. The human race wants to escape from this plane. Ah. A powerful demon emperor scanned with his demonic senses and found the tower master who was trying to escape. Come here. Boom! The demon emperor grabbed with his giant hand, directly freezing the space, reversing the universe, and directly grabbed the tower master who had already flown to the 9th heaven. Chapter 544. Xiaohan's plane was indeed in a precarious situation. Life and death would be decided in a split second. 3 days from now, the Yao race would fight the humans in the fairy tale domain. It would be a battle of the ages. Similar battles had taken place in other planes before. The Yao race and the humans would fight to the death, and the loser would be exterminated. It was a battle of wills and cruelty. It was a battle between 2 races. By now, many of the humans on this plane had learned that it wasn't the native Yao race led by Emperor Woodfern, but the mysterious and powerful Yao race from another plane. Before the battle, the 4 realms and the great wilderness had been ravaged by the plague. Who knew how many civilians had died? Some sects and empires had even been destroyed. That made the humans realize just how powerful the Yao race was before the battle even began. A shadow quietly shrouded the hearts of everyone who participated in the battle. The Purity Mountain Range. The Purity Sect. Xiao, 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 rays of true energy circled above the Purity Mountain Range. These streams of vital energy were the direct disciples of the Pure Cloud sect flying on their swords or riding on the mist to circle around them. Hundreds of thousands of disciples in the fleshly body realm were waiting in the outer mountains. Some were bare-chested while others were fully clothed. Their eyes burned with the desire to fight. Mingchu, take a few true disciples with you to protect Grandmaster Yan Lang, Shirong Yanxue, and Princess Mo Hen. Wu Yu instructed Xiao Mingchu as he walked out of the Purity Hall. No, sect head, Xiao Mingchu hurriedly said, I want to fight as well. Have junior brother Fang Ling and junior brother Dong Fang stay behind to protect the families of the disciples. Mingchu, with your cultivation and battle prowess, you're the best choice. You're the best choice to protect the families of the Purity sect. Wu Yu smiled faintly, then turned his gaze to the distant Yao capital. This battle is extremely dangerous. I don't know if we'll survive it. Mingchu, whether you fight or not won't affect the overall situation. Just stay here and protect your families. This? Xiao Mingchu trembled with excitement. Sect head, yes, it's decided. Wu Yu nodded heavily. At this moment, Fang Ling turned into a stream of sword energy and charged into the sky above the 6 Peaks mountain range. All members of the Pure Rain sect, heed my command. Now, all the true energy realm disciples and physical body realm disciples of the sect entered the Devil Hero domain. The great battle between the human race and the demon race is imminent. For our homeland, for our loved ones, we can only fight. I have no regrets even if I die. Are you afraid? Fight, 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 fight. The crowd was in high spirits. A blood-boiling roar reverberated throughout the entire Nine Peaks mountain range. It lasted for a long time. I wonder if junior brother Xiaohan will be able to make it in time for this battle. Fang Ling's gaze also looked towards the direction of the Demon Hero region as he spoke in a soft voice that could not be heard. Depart. Dong Fangqin's vital qi transformed into a giant black phoenix, carrying countless disciples of the mortal body realm and flying towards the Yaoxia region. He flew in the direction of the Devil Hero region. At the same time, in the eastern, southern, western and northern regions, as well as in the depths of the Great Desolate, a large number of human sects, empires and countless cultivators were present. They all left their nests and flocked to the Yaoxia region. On the way to the Yaoxia region, martial artists were as dense as flying locusts in the sky. Some martial artists who were familiar with each other would smile after meeting each other. They would all smile and encourage each other in their eyes. Some of the martial artists who originally had grudges or even enmity with each other would also smile and forget about their grudges after this encounter. That's right, personal grudges were so insignificant in the face of the overall situation of the survival of the plane. In a very short period of time, hundreds of millions of martial artists gathered in the Yaoxia region. Moreover, the number of martial artists was increasing by the minute. Almost all the ancient giants of the Yaoxia ranking had returned to their positions and were all floating around the Yaoxia tower. They all let out an inspiring roar. The Yaoxia tower will not fall. We will defend this plane with our lives. The demon race will be destroyed by us. The Yaoxia tower. Some senior Yaoxia who were in charge of the various floors of the Yaoxia tower also looked out of the window. All the martial artists in the world are gathered in the Yaoxia region. Although our plane is very weak, it is cohesive. At the moment of crisis, no one flinched. Good, I don't believe that billions of human martial artists can't fight against the demon race in 3 days. Yes, seeing so many martial artists gathered in the Yaoxia region, I have some confidence in the final battle in 3 days. If it was a situation where the hearts of the people were divided, then there was no need to fight. They might as well just slit their own throats. But now we may have the power to fight. Ah, the Pagoda Master. At this moment the Pagoda Master abandoned us and fled to another plane. Now it seems that the Pagoda Master is no match for an ordinary martial artist in the physical body realm. Don't mention the Pagoda Master anymore. Bah, bastard. He's worse than a pig and a dog. In the face of danger he abandoned the people who used to believe in him. Disgusting. In the Pure Cloud Sect's army. With Wu as the leader, the disciples of the Pure Cloud Sect flew toward the Yaoxia region. At this moment, Brother Wu looked sideways. He saw his old friend, the Heavenly Devil Old Man, leading a group of disciples of the Heavenly Devil Palace, rushing over from afar. The two groups of people converged. Wu looked around and saw Mo Qingtong, who had fought alongside Xiaohan in the Yaoxia trial, standing behind the Heavenly Devil Old Man. At this moment, Mo Qingtong's temperament became colder and colder. True qi flickered all over her body, and talismans seeped out of her pores to form a formation. Oh, Qingtong, I haven't seen you for a few years. You've made great progress and reached the true qi level 8 talisman formation realm. Wu was slightly surprised. Greetings, Sect Master Wu. Mo Qingtong bowed politely. Qingtong's cultivation is really nothing. Xiaohan is really heaven-defying. He has refined his natal talisman tens of thousands of times and is comparable to an immortal. Well, Sect Master Wu, has Xiaohan come out of seclusion? Qingtong hasn't seen Xiaohan for several years since we parted that day. I miss him a lot. Her voice was so soft that it was almost inaudible. We've arrived at the Yaoxia region. Then we'll know about Xiaohan's situation. Wu smiled slightly. Boom! Flames rose in the distance and a group of people came over on the fire clouds. It was the Blazing Flame Sect, one of the top 5 sects in the Beacon Fire Empire. It was the Sect Master Yan Qimei. Wu! Yan Qimei roared. Yan Qimei. Wu smiled. The two of them had been rivals since they were young. However, as they looked at each other, they began to laugh uproariously. It was as if all of the grudges and grievances between them had vanished into thin air with that one laugh. Ha! Oh. After defeating the demon clan today, I want to drink with you for 7 days and 7 nights. Ah! After being enemies for so many years, I suddenly find you more pleasing to the eye. Ah! It makes sense. It's better to be friends than enemies. Yin Qimei said straightforwardly. 7 days and 7 nights is not enough. We need to drink for at least 10 days and 10 nights. Ah! However, the premise is that we are still alive. Wu laughed. The two sect masters. They finally met again and shook hands. Wu, I still admire you. You actually trained such a heaven-defying genius like Xiao Han. Yin Qimei sighed sincerely. I think Xiao Han will be the winner of the battle in 3 days. The situation is not optimistic. Wu shook his head slightly. The demon clan is strong this time. They came prepared and gathered countless great demons from other planes. Although Xiao Han is fierce and dominating the world, he will not be able to do anything alone. It doesn't matter. At least we have fought. Perhaps, there were many planes that had similar great battles like this. Some battles were won by the demon clan. Some battles were won by the human clan. But now it seems that these are not that important. The important thing is, we have the courage to fight. Even if we die, we will not yield to the demon clan. The heavenly devil old man said sternly. This old man will die, but I will drag a few of the demon clan down with me. The demon capital. The demon capital was at its peak. Millions of ultimate variant demon emperors, and countless ordinary demon emperors. There were close to 1,000 demon emperors from other planes who were 10 times stronger than the Woodfern Great Emperor. At this time, the pagoda master who was trying to escape was caught by one of the demon emperors from another plane. Ha 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 ha. At this moment, the pagoda master's face was as pale as a sheet of paper. His teeth were chattering and he was curled up in a corner. His bowels and bladder sprayed out, and he was so scared that tears streamed down his face. His heart had completely collapsed. There was no way the pagoda master could stay calm. Even if he were alone in the demon capital, he wouldn't be able to escape unscathed from Emperor Woodfern and the other native demons. But right now, there were close to 1,000 demons that were 10 times stronger than Emperor Woodfern. The pagoda master even found a few demon emperors that were 100 or even 1,000 times stronger than the Woodfern Great Emperor. Once a demon the arch of this level made a move, this plane would be annihilated. Heavens! There are so many great demons that we can't defeat. Any one of them could kill all the living beings in our plane. Resist? We can't resist at all. The pagoda master was so scared that he started sobbing. Although he has the cultivation of a pagoda master, he's still very weak. I can squash him to death with a single finger. A large group of demon emperors surrounded the pagoda master playfully. Their faces were filled with malevolence and perversion. It was as if a group of burly men had surrounded a delicate young girl and were about to do something improper. Ah! Everyone! This fellow is the leader of our plane's humans, the pagoda master. Ah! It's him. It's this fellow? He actually tried to escape and was caught by you all. Ah! The Woodfern Great Emperor roared with laughter and took a step forward, glaring at the pagoda master. Ah! It's actually you. You actually fell into our hands. Ah! Haven't you always been arrogant? Ah! The leader of the human race. What a noble existence. But today you've become a prisoner of our demon race. Pagoda master, I'm going to play with you until you wish you were dead. Ah! You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.